What's up, everyone? Kawaii here, and I believe we're on episode 49 of the Weebs with the Roundtable podcast. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about our final thoughts on the fall 2024 anime. And I believe by the time I'll be uploading this video, this will be the first podcast of 2025. Crazy to think about. But yes, joining me right here is Memory NK, Bad Lad of Culture, and Annie Poe Review. So, on that, without further ado, let's just get on to it. So, the first anime on the list is easily one of the most popular, if not the most popular anime to come out of the fall season, Dandadan. So, what do you guys think?
I mean, it's anime of the season and anime trending already, so it pretty much speaks volume to how popular this show is. But the thing is, though, they say that the best part of Dandadan it will be in season 2, and the way they closed off season 1 was so brutally painful because that cliffhanger was like, bro, that is very smart of them to get excited for that season 2 in 6 months time. But yeah, anyways, Dandadan for me though, I have quite a mixed feeling for it. I mean, of course, you can say everyone was hyping up Dandadan for being one of the next big shonen anime that people will love, enjoy, and stuff. And not gonna lie though, I can see the theme around it. I mean, I think I mentioned this in the previous podcast that came out, and it doesn't really change that much for me in terms of my view on Dandadan. I see it like more like very supernatural, like shonen anime, focusing on alien and ghosts, but most or so, people accidentally became monsters, and so because they have the trauma with those specific monsters. So, for example, Okarun had trauma with the Granny, and he gained the power of Granny, and then we see Sakura. What's her name again? Who's the pink girl? Ira, she had her issues with the dancing lady, and she became the dancing lady. And now, obviously, because of the trailer, the new boy that is so cringe. To be honest, he's gonna get the power of the purple eye monster demon. I can already see it happening already, man. So it's more so focusing on supernatural theme, and that's why I think more people like that so aspect of shonen rather than your typical Naruto, Boruto, Bleach. So I mean, Bleach is almost similar as Dandadan, but still, it's kind of like a very fresh take to how you approach shonen anime genre. So I'm not that surprised that it's get better traction in terms of people engaging content with it. But for me though, like the one thing that really made me feel a little bit iffy about it is how much of the jokes they use in the anime is kind of repetitive. How I mean, of course, you can say some of the generic jokes they use is to help build up Okarun and ISA relationship over time, and you can see that those two big bond growing stronger. But some of the clichéness they use in some of the episodes, I was just like, oh my god, seriously, this is how they're gonna approach you building up the relationship. So I wasn't a big fan of how they approach it, but in the end, it worked out. People enjoyed it, so I just say it is what it is. But in terms of the fight scenes, the action moments, and so Science Sorrow, they really show the fact that they can indeed do shonen anime, and I am very pleased to know that they can really take some of the animation moment to new heights. And rather than sticking to love, like Science Sorrow does a lot of like slice of life, but I know they did like Devilman Crybaby, but you can say when I see Science Sorrow animation style, it's more like fixated to those typical slice of life wackiness. And well, they did use a lot of that in Dandadan, but I wasn't too hyped up them being like the big studio for action anime. But they proved us wrong. They really delivered in Dandadan, and that's what I enjoyed the most from Dandadan. And they really did so well with some of the horror aspect of the anime too. So Science Sorrow, fair play for you guys. I can see that you guys know what you're doing. You guys understood your assignment, and I have to give credits for you guys. And that's why I didn't give Dandadan like a very low score, but a very in between score. So that's pretty much my view on it. But in the end, Dandadan is quite mixed for me. But it's just the action stuff that really gets me going for it.
Nice.
Hmm?
All right.
Should I go? Okay. I have my notes here. So I want to first say that I actually kind of enjoyed the first half of the season. Even though I've talked about it in the last podcast, many of the plot holes and the lack of explanation, it was still somewhat enjoyable. I like the concept of mixing aliens and spirits together. And I thought the relationship between Okarun and Momo, I think her name was very good. The animation, I cannot complain a single bit of the animation. That was a great job. The OP might be my favorite opening song of the season, actually. And I find it very funny, and I saw other people joke about it too, that the band is called Creepinut, which is very fitting for this show. The plot. Let's see. I guess a lot of the comedy I did enjoy, although, as mentioned before, it was very repetitive, especially for me, just hearing the same under the belt jokes a lot of times about Ocar and Junk being gone. Like that was pretty much the whole plot, the whole season, to just find his balls or his other stuff. And yeah, I find if I was younger, maybe a teenager, I would find it more funny. But no, not at 3 years old. But there were parts where I still enjoyed the comedy here and there. Um, in the second half, that's where I'm starting to feel less interested in show. It started from the episode actually, which we talked about in the last podcast with the ballet clothes and everything. Because after that, I just didn't feel excited about the episode. I just felt they were very uninteresting to me, especially the episode where they were stuck in the school and that was filled with water and everything. I was like, no, I didn't like that episode. Or that was actually 2 episodes. I did, however, like the backstory of the guy, the boxing alien that looks like Hitmonchan from Pokemon. Uh, with him, transferring the cow up in the UFO. That explains the opening song actually, because they had the cow there as well. The only concern I had when I watched that scene was like, okay, but does the cow have grass to eat on the other planet? Because otherwise they're gonna have to come back for a new cow. I don't know how that works, but they might figure it out. Also, I don't know how many people live on that planet because they only picked one cow. There's gonna be a lot of milking there. Anyhow, other than that, I just didn't feel the second half, and even with the cliffhanger at the end, it did nothing to me really. But as a whole, because I still gave it 5.5 out of 10 because I saw also some issues with the first part of season one, but at least I somewhat enjoyed it. So yeah, I guess that's what I can say about that.
Yeah, and I have a very interesting opinion about this series. And if you guys seen what I've been posting on Memories Discord, then you guys probably know what I'm talking about. So the first 7 episodes. Well, it's like I know it's not really half, but the first 7 episodes of Dandadan, I actually really enjoyed. I love the action. I love the I know a lot of people find the comedy pretty repetitive. I mean, it's not that much of an issue for me personally, but it is entertaining enough. I love the chemistry between Okarun and Momo, and the action was great. The animation was great. But yeah, first 7 episodes were I really enjoyed. And then, however, they introduced
Fell
Ira.
apart.
And that's when the series started taking a huge nosedive from me.
I have to agree. Actually, Ira was a big reason. I
Yeah.
usually love triangles, but not in this case. I forgot to
Yes.
say that too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's because like I mean, I know a lot of people say, oh, it's not really a love triangle there. It's still Okarun and freaking Momo. Yeah. Yeah, I get. I mean, I suppose maybe I could see that, but it doesn't help that Ira is just still so like infatuated with Ken slash Okarun, however you want to call him. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I still believe this is that once Ira came along, that's when the series just basically jumped the shark for a while. I think that Ira's infatuation with Okarun is just it's pretty much dog shit. Because here's the thing. It's like, okay, oh, Ken and Momo saved her, Ken saved her once, like, right? And then, like, all of a sudden, oh, she just falls in love head over heels with them. Like, no build up, no, no signs whatsoever. She just, oh, you saved me once, and now I'm head over heels for you, despite being such a dick to you a few episodes ago. Like, I hate the way that it's all set up. And also that scene in like near the school where Ira was trying to force herself onto Ken and started trying to kiss him and all that.
Yeah, don't even get me started with that.
That was terrible. I hated that scene. I really just felt like her presence, it really doesn't help. Like, pretty much 80% of her screen time is just her just simping for Okarun/Ken. And I truly think that it just took away from the development that we could have gotten between Ken and Momo, which is one of the biggest reasons why I enjoyed the show in the first place. So to see her presence being treated that way, for her presence to be, play off the way it was, it just really ruined my enjoyment of this series for me for the first few episodes after episode 7. And I would have called Dandadan one of my most disappointing anime of 2024, if not for the fact that the show actually redeemed itself for me. Once Gigi was introduced, I actually started to really enjoy the last 2 episodes, because first of all, I really do feel like, ever since Ken has, may feel a hint of jealousy towards the relationship Gigi and Momo have together. I really do think that like the romantic dynamics between the characters have kind of balanced out. And also during the last 2 episodes, we saw less of Momo. Less of Ira.
That's what I was gonna say. That's, you said in the last few episodes your points went up, and Momo was barely there. No, not Momo. Ira was barely there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's like ever since we got less of Ira, this show's enjoyment for me has been greatly improving. And I've been saying. Sorry, what were you about to say?
Sorry, I'm still questioning though that you. I was also annoyed with Ira, but you're not annoyed with Gigi. That actually, I actually questioned that.
To be honest, I find that surprising too. I mean, because Gigi is probably the type of character that I would find like real super cringe or annoying, but I don't know. I mean, like, for some reason, I just find him amusing so far.
He knew Momo for a longer time too, I guess.
Yeah. I guess that's mainly because he's not trying to like, actively try to steal Ken's girl. I mean, he's just trying to. So far, he's just a dork.
He's just a clown.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I truly feel like, with less Momo screen time, it directly leads to more enjoyment for the series. So,
Momo.
Oh my god, Ira, fucking, I don't know why I keep getting the names mixed up. But yeah, less Ira screen time, is great. So yeah, also, yeah, I really enjoyed Dandadan. Also, the cliffhanger is just brutal. I mean, like, how could you make us wait 7 months for the continuation of that? It's cruel. It's cruel, I say. But overall, Dandadan, probably one of my top 3 of the fall season. Greatly, it's aside from the whole Ira thing, it's actually I had really a lot of fun with it. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to season 2. Also, Seiko Ayase, best gilf. And that's pretty much all I had to say about that. All right, Memory, you have any thoughts on it?
Funny enough, I've only watched 3 episodes of Dandadan, which is probably insane. Out of all the anime I could be behind on, it's the one I'm behind on. But
weren't you the one that kind of hyped it up a little bit?
Yeah, because I was doing videos on the new channel that I made, which just kind of fell off. We stopped doing videos because I went on vacation for a week, and then everything just got threw out of whack because we got behind, and then it was just once we. I'm a person where it's like once I get behind on something, it's pretty hard for me to catch up just in general. I'll do it at the last minute or something, even for the podcast. Like I'll be trying to catch up to everything before like it comes out or whatever, which I've done a little bit better this time around. But Dandadan's the only one I haven't caught up to, but I've watched 3 episodes, and the episode you mentioned, the granny, Momo's grandma, that's actually the episode I left off on. So I got introduced to her, which was nice, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, from what I've watched, I'm enjoying the show a lot. The first episode was a blast. I think it did a good job. I mean, it hooked me. I feel like it did hook a lot of people as well. Kind of instantly grabbed them. Anipod brought up, or was it Mad Lad with Science Saru? I think it was Mad Lad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Science Saru, I feel like they do more like niche sort of series, and this is kind of a different realm for them in a way. Like I feel like Dandadan does kind of fit their style, but then also it's like a big shonen series, so they're kind of getting outside of what they normally do, which is like doing these niche kind of series. Like a lot of most people haven't like heard of a lot of the stuff that they do, like, or it's either originals or it's based off material that a lot of people haven't heard of. So they've been killing it. Their style, I feel like, definitely fits the series. That's definitely something I've enjoyed already with it, is the production side of things. And Momo and Ken's interactions already through the first 3 episodes, and their kind of how they bounce off of each other. That was one of the things that stood out to me a lot as well. And I do like how some of the spirits and all that are like based off of actual, like, you know, real things that like, or like folklore and things of that nature. I do find that really cool too. But yeah, I can't really speak as much as you guys, but so far from what I've watched, I really do enjoy it. So I'm gonna get on that pretty soon. Hopefully, finish it up for, well, definitely before the next season comes out. But yeah, that would be all I would have to say. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm curious how I'll feel though as I go along because of what you guys have said. Some of the little negatives or whatever characters you weren't as big on.
Gotcha. All right. By the sounds of it, I think we are ready to move on now. Oh, by the way, one thing I forgot to mention when the podcast started, we're planning on this to be a much shorter podcast than usual. We don't have like a 21 like anime list right now. We cut it down to pretty much by half, so to about 10 anime. We're trying to go for the 2 hour, maybe like around the 2 hour mark for the podcast, since you know, we're around New Year's Eve, you know, still in the holiday season pretty much. But yeah, other than that, I think we're ready to move on now. Next up on the list is the third season of a much acclaimed isekai series, Re:Zero season 3. Which I've
I think Memory haven't have a chance to talk about it, so I just let Memory start off with it.
I mean, what can I say, man? You know, it's the greatness that is Re:Zero. We're getting the second half of this season, which is really interesting how they kind of split this up with the 2 arcs and all that. But we're gonna have the second part, I believe in like a month or so, a little over a month. So it'll be like in the middle of the winter season, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this is the most like shonen that Re:Zero has probably like felt. I know like the stuff we're seeing the archbishops do and whatnot is like really fucked up. So obviously not some stuff you usually see in shonen, but in terms of just like all the characters kind of gathering here, even the city that they're in, the setup for it, this is like feeling like the most shonen-esque or like action, you know, focused part of Re:Zero. And I feel like it's a nice little switch up from what we usually get with the series. I like seeing everyone kind of team up, everyone here, like in the Subaru camp, but then also like obviously you got all the archbishops and whatnot. You're diving into the past with like Wilhelm and stuff, which I think is really cool, and Reinhard. Content that I've definitely wanted to get more on, and I think a lot of people have as well. Also, the Subaru speech. I know everybody was talking about that, which that was just absolutely fantastic. That just episode, just I don't know how he was able to grab the people, how he did. Just coming from a normal person, right? I think that's really what helped people grab onto kind of what he was saying and, you know, getting them all together. So I did really like that episode. It was gassed up beforehand from light novel readers saying like, oh, this is going to be one of the best episodes of ReZero and all that. And it was definitely really good. I wouldn't say it's on like episode 18 level, like ReZero season 1, episode 18, but I really did like it. And yeah, man, I'm curious because this first part was kind of like the setup, and now the second part's going to be like all out war essentially. So I'm really excited. Also, we got some big reveals with like Garfield, with his family and all that.
That was my most interesting part, I think.
Yeah, that was like, especially the episode where you saw his family in this city of all places. It's like, okay. But them going into that, I really liked.
Mimi?
Yeah, Mimi has grown on me a lot. I was in like, I don't know, her and Garth, just that whole dynamic is really cute too. That's a good shout.
I said that too. Like, it would be much more difficult to handle for Garfield if it wasn't for Mimi.
Yeah,
Mimi really helped him with his mental issues that he was going through, considering with his mother and everything.
Yeah, and just reminding him, because like we forget, we see Garth, and especially how he tries to act, but really he's still a kid. Like he's still, you know, he's still young as hell. So, you know, it's all right for him to cry. It's all right for him to do, you know, things that a kid, teenager, whatever would do. I also like with Garth how they still are using Elsa, like even though she's not involved, like she still kind of has an impact there, lingering on his mind. I like how they do that. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this part, I feel like, because especially of all the characters we have gathered here and all the kind of build up we've had for them and whatnot. So yeah, I'm really excited for the second part because it's going to be all out war. I'm sure it's not all going to go smoothly or according to plan, but you know, I'm excited because we got pretty much all the resources, all the people on both sides coming together and going at it. So, yeah. This part, though, the first half of season 3 has been fantastic, to no surprise. So, yeah, that would be my thoughts so far.
We already spoke about the ReZero because it was only one episode left when we talked about in the last podcast. So I don't really have anything else to add. The only thing was that I made a joke actually after the last episode when Subaru and Reinhard entered the church. I joked that Emilia was looking at Reinhard, not Subaru, in that moment, like he was the prince. And I still think Rem is the best girl. That's all I'm gonna say. Even though she's not in season 3.
Even though she hasn't been around for who knows how long, it feels like.
That just shows how great impact she had in season 1, though.
She did. That is.
Meanwhile, Emilia in season 1 was, you're just disturbing me. But I do agree, though. Emilia has progressed a lot after that.
Yeah.
But Rem tried to kill him, though, but still. Well, she did kill him, actually, not just tried to kill him.
Yeah. That's a thing, though, that's really impressive about it, is that even after all this time where Rem hasn't been around, a lot of people still, you know, regard her as one of their favorite characters in the whole series. Like, she would be for me as well. I think Emilia has kind of overtook her just because of what we've had, especially more so in season 2. But yeah,
I said it in the last podcast, actually, that I think a lot of the reason is that Emilia gets a lot more focus while Rem is still asleep, so she doesn't get to prove herself. That's why, because Emilia is the only one focused right now. That's why, Emilia's best girl now, but that's not it's not fair. Mm-hmm. Because now she's been for 2 seasons, Rem has only been on 1 season.
Yeah. Yeah, there is obviously a big difference there, too.
Ram, no, she's never going to be best girl.
I would agree with that. Yeah. And also, I forgot to mention this, but I wasn't too, like, she's cool and all. She's kind of like a vibe, but I wasn't too crazy on the songstress girl, the Liliana or whatever her name was.
Right.
Dude, yeah, I don't really understand what sort of significant part you're gonna play in this.
The thing is that she seems to have
But I've been told that she's gonna have a very important role in the part 2 of season 3, so I'll be patient about it.
Apparently, they cut something from that was supposed to already be like established or something that her, like, and Subaru already like have known each other or they've met before the beginning of this season that they cut out.
Okay.
And that's why Subaru was like, I think when they first met, he was like, "Oh, it's you again," or something along those lines, or the way he like referred to her or said her name or whatever. It seemed like they were already familiar with each other, and that was something apparently that they cut out from before, which is kind of interesting too.
One thing I thought about her was actually that I think maybe her song is some sort of antidote, maybe, because we looked at how she, with her song, she was able to heal the people in the basement that were cursed. So maybe she's gonna have a role, because we know the other, I don't know if I remember her name, but the girl who looks like a mummy, she has her curse, right? When you look at her, you all get cursed, and she's controlling everyone. So maybe her music is going to be able to help them in some way or somehow. We'll see. But I think her music, because she's very good at finding lyrics and everything, but I think her instrument is more than just the music. I think it has some power behind it.
Mm-hmm. Also, I like the Priscilla shine. We got more shine with her in this season too, which I liked as well. Yeah. But yeah, that would be my thoughts on the. Well, you guys said you already mostly kind of talked about it in the last pod, but
I'm pretty sure memory pretty much summarized what I said too in the previous one, that this season is very heavy on the action and allowing other side characters to get their spotlight in the show and allowing them to show that they have a big part to play in the story. And other than some of the stuff we saw in season 2, Garfield I'm pretty sure gonna have a much bigger part to play in part 2. And Subaru just showed the fact that he is now a knight, even though he died 3, 4, 5 times already. But he is a knight, and he will demonstrate more of his qualities by saving Emilia in the start of the part 2. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But I'm just saying this right now. I feel like ReZero Part 2 gonna be, how do I say, the point of the season where many people will really see how amazing ReZero is. So I'll be very excited for that. And yeah, definitely hoping that no Wednesday animes on next season will clash with it. So, well, looking forward to Return of ReZero. I'm pretty sure we're going to have an overall opinion on season 3 when part 2 finishes next month. So yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. Are we ready to move on?
Yep.
Sure.
All right. Next up on the list is Bleach, 1000 Year Blood War: The Conflict.
No watching.
Okay. Who are we going to start on this? Wait, am I only one watching Bleach?
I'm watching it.
Are you up to date?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
What was that? Okay, first off, I just want to say, what the hell was that at the end of the last episode?
Oh, they're just setting up for part 4.
They literally just they wasted like 6 or 7 minutes of screen time for like, it wasn't even actual like content. It wasn't new content.
I'm sure they purposely,
maybe some of it was.
They're purposely setting that up for part 4, because part 4, from on my knowledge, is officially going to be the final episode of Bleach, 1000 Year Blow, aka the franchise. So I think they're just pretty much setting up for it and and getting us excited for part 4, which will be sometime next year. I hope so. But it's just that the final episode just feel like it was just reviewed everything about what's going on with Ishida. And Ishida, I mean, of course, everyone knew he was going to betray, being a double agent right now. But it's just something
there was
about
no way he was going to stay on that side.
It's just about the final 2 episodes. It's just like they're just really setting up now just to get things going now for part 4. And part 3, we get to see another build-up fight, because I remember this, none of the fight that we saw in part 3 are finished. There's still more to come from those fights, and we already got a glimpse of how how things are going right now for the Quincy's and the remaining Soul Society frontline fighters. So you can say that in part 4 is about concluding all those fights that we see in part 3. That's why it's called the conflict, and that's why part 4 is called I forgot what it's called, but something of
A calamity
calamity
or whatever. Yeah.
Huh?
The
Calamity?
Yeah.
Calamity?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
It's just like going to put a big full stop now to the whole of all the season, and then we just finally can get to say goodbye to Bleach after I don't know 20 years of the anime being around for 10 years gap between. So it's incredible to see that Bleach is one of the OG shonen still survive to this day, and now fans are coming to realize that it's about to come to an end now. So
Yeah.
now we just have to see how will part 4 come by, and just hope that it is going to be a very, very, very good end to Bleach franchise. Well, I heard that the reason why many people did not like the manga was because Tite Kubo, the creator of Bleach, was very how do I say this?
I don't think he
without
got to finish it how he wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. He people say that he rushed the ending, so that's why not people. That's why I remember people back then were, well, some of my friends even go as far as saying Bleach manga was quite crappy at the end, but because of the anime lately, with how the added content being given to a more justified end to some of the moments that being drawn out in the manga, it's just show to show that the anime is a proper end to Bleach, and I'm hoping that because of this long gap they're gonna have. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get. Dude, I would not be surprised if Bleach Part 4 comes out in 2026, because they're gonna have the whole year studio period focusing making Bleach Part 4 the best of their abilities. So they're gonna give Bleach a whole year off, and then 2026 winter season, that's when we're gonna see the return of Bleach, and most importantly, the end of Bleach too. Because if I'm not wrong, Bleach came out in 2006. Was it 2005, 2004? I mean, they could be, but still, it's just good to know that studio period knew the assignment, and they're gonna give Bleach the proper end, goodbye to it. So it's just about them making sure that Bleach is going to be well animated for the finale of the finale. So part 3 is setting up for part 4 in my eyes. I mean, we still got great moments, of course. A lot of sad moments and a lot of backstories. Again, all I see from part 3 is setting up for part 4. So yeah, looking forward to part 4. And of course, as I said for previous stuff about Bleach in previous podcasts, great animation, great character moments, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, a lot of people would say that this is the best that Bleach has looked as with what they've done. Just the style for this whole season, all the parts. I mean, that's the thing that Bleach, even because I never watched the original anime. I read the manga to catch up for this part, and I've just been following the anime of this. And that's something I've always appreciated with Bleach, is that you don't even have to Ichigo could be gone for however many episodes, and I feel like the cast that it's established, it could focus on these other characters, and Ichigo doesn't have to be around, the other main characters don't really have to be around, and you're still most likely going to enjoy the content that you have. I just feel like that's how well established the cast has been. Some of the stuff we had with Mayuri and Nemu in this season, and then even with Jiro, with him, that content was really good. Yoruichi got some shine in the last episode or 2 of the part, which I like to see. And we saw Grimjow come back. We saw Aizen come back for a little bit there. They kind of gave us that. You can kind of tell that this last part, it's kind of all the chips are on the table essentially. And how else would you want to really have it with obviously what is going on right now? But yeah, the Uryu stuff, we all figured there was some double agent.
His acting was amazing though when he fight Ichigo early in the season. That was Ichida, you are such an Oscar worthy of an actor.
Yeah, he sold it. But
Well,
yeah,
obviously, I'm pretty sure your watch sword coming in because you can see the future.
yeah,
Uh,
but just all the I don't know, all the characters that they've been kind of bringing back and they're for like to help Ichigo or some of the others. The like backstory, I think you brought up like some of the backstories or whatever, but like the stuff with like Basby, that content was really nice. Um, yeah, just a lot to like. Obviously about this part, just about this whole season of Bleach as a whole, like 1,000 Year Blood War, and I just it just continues just like the other parts. It's just you know it's good old Bleach, man. It's just doing its thing, and I am excited for the last part, probably to leave it all off, everything on the table, everyone there, and yeah, we'll see how it ends. But this part was great, and besides that last like 7-8 minutes of the final episode, I still maybe they just if they would have done more, it would have left off on a part maybe they didn't want to leave it off on or something like that. So they like left it off where they decided to, and then they did some like recap sort of stuff with the characters. I mean, I think there was some new stuff in there, but that's also the thing I've heard people talk about with this 1,000 Year Blood War anime with Bleach is that they've put in things that like Kubo wanted to include originally in the manga, but he couldn't. So that's really cool. And a lot of people are saying like, oh, they've been enjoying this way more in the anime than they did the manga. So that's a good thing. And hopefully that can keep up in the final part. So, but yeah, just good old Bleach greatness still for sure.
but yeah, I don't know how long we go. I'm pretty sure in Anime Japan of next year, which I'll be there again for the third year in a row. I'm pretty sure they're gonna announce something regarding to Bleach. But like I said, I won't be surprised if that they say Bleach Part 4 will be out in 2026 winter season. I mean, they already announced Hell Paradise to be in 2026 already. Like, wow, that was like quite an announcement.
Well, they've done a part each year, I think, right? Or
every year and 3 months, but
yeah,
more like a year. Yeah,
the previous part was in 2023, and then the part before that was 2022. So yeah, there'll be at least a year.
Yeah,
a year gap.
Like I said, I don't mind that as long as they make sure that the quality is consistent and no delays, like like fucking Arifureta right now. So,
We're gonna get to that later.
Yeah, I like this. I don't mind this formula though, really at all. Like instead of just a long running sort of thing to kind of space it out, like every year and a half, like it's not that bad. I think, and especially if it can maintain this quality like it has been, like I would not mind other like longer running anime or whatever to kind of follow this formula instead of the long running, because I mean I feel like the long running thing has kind of been pushed to the side for a bit now, but
yeah, very much.
But yeah, but
so,
besides like One Piece is obviously still, well, even that is on break right now. It's been on break it went on break
into
for
April. Yeah.
So maybe they're gonna switch up how maybe they'll go on those breaks more frequently or something and come back. But yeah, we can move on to.
All right, next up on the list is the continuation of a beautiful sports romance anime, Blue Box.
Yes. I was gassing this one up. I was gassing it up before it came out.
I gotta say, I think this has to be one of the best romance series of this year. I mean, of course, there's a lot of romance show coming out. I mean, of course, we haven't gotten to the point of confession and stuff, but the fact how each of the girls and boys interact with each other this season, I just want more already. Chinatsu, oh my god! Even though she is quite sometimes a very airheaded girl, but you can see the intent there. She does have some interest in Taiki, and I say, oh my god, it's getting there, right? I remember reading the manga back during COVID period. I think it was COVID period, and I think I'm starting to remember some of the stuff why I enjoy Blue Lock a lot. But can we just talk about the side character couple? Like, oh my god! Like, remember when Hanyu told us that he has a girlfriend? I was like, oh, so he's one of those cheeky bastards that gets a girlfriend out before everyone else. So I expect the girl to be some sort of bitchy character or something like that. But no.
Nope.
Oh my God, Karen, man. Can we talk about Karen? I mean, of course, everyone wants to talk about Chinatsu. We were talking about who's the pink-haired girl again. I forgot. See how much
Tina.
Tina meant nothing to us now at this point. Can we talk about Karen? Like, bro, this girl needs more screen time. Oh my God, the amount of time she helped ship, be a wing woman for Taiki and Chinatsu in the latest episode, and when she was introduced in the festival. I thought she was one of those bitchy girls and stuff like that dating Hanyu for the sake of being with a hot guy. But no, she has a personality that I like. She has that girl strong mentality that I want.
She tells her, dude, you better win or I'm breaking up with you. That's crazy.
No, she's not gonna. But
it's still crazy to have that. Like most girls would be like, oh, like focus on me before you're
exactly
or like whatever you're
doing. Like, how rare you see girls like that, man. Like, oh my God, when Karen showed that side of her, I was like, okay, I'm starting to like her now. And then when she told her backstory to how she and Hanyu became a couple, bro, now that is how you build up a relationship. Not like you date him because he's handsome and stuff, but those two has a history. Those two have a very interesting history with each other, like how they go on date. Well, not date, but hang out with each other, be there for each other. And then she just at the breaking point, she confesses, and so I was like, oh my God. I don't know why, but can we have a spin-off series for those just for those two, man? Because
I'm on board.
Yeah, those two are awesome.
Dude, those two have a
hard,
very, very good dynamic, man. I like their dynamic with each other, and I want more from them. But sadly, that's not Blue Box. That is not Blue Box, man. Blue Box is all about Chinatsu Hina fighting for, guess who? Taiki. That he still a pussyo trying to fucking get Chinatsu. Yeah, trust me, Taiki. Dude, if you like Chinatsu, just confess or something. Like you're trying to make your everyday life difficult for each other. I know that you're trying to focus on badminton. You know that Chinatsu is focusing on basketball. Yes, we get it. No distraction. We get it as sportsmen. We do not want to be distracted so that we can focus on our sport so that we can play better, perform better. But bro, there will be a point of you in your high school life that you will say, yeah, you know what? Chinatsu is too important for me. I need to do it. Because, bro, what Karen said to Taiki was very, very bang on, man. That's another reason why I like her. Taiki, if you keep on flirting around secretly around Chinatsu living with you, being very, pushio and stuff like that, you start to see like you're gonna be like more of a creeper than a guy than just a very good friend to Chinatsu, and she has a point there. And when she said that to Taiki, oh my God, she's right. Maybe living with Chinatsu can make me a creep because I keep on taking advantage of her being around me, sniffing her, and oh my God, dude. Karen was bang on being a wing woman right now, and I absolutely want her to keep on pushing Taiki to his limit, but obviously Taiki, knowing how he does things, he will continue to be a pussyo unless Chinatsu start really showing more signs of that she has interest in him. But obviously, basing on what I can see from the opening, the new one, which if you guys haven't seen yet, by the way, I have not read anything further than chapter 30 or so. So the anime is way past that already. I really have a feeling that in part 2 we're gonna see one of the most painful moments for Hina, because Hina, oh my God, you can already tell that she's about to hit breaking point too, for the fact that she keep on seeing I think the day that she found out Chinatsu is living with Taiki, she has been being a little bit more aggressive, not really aggressive, but just semi-aggressive. And part 2 opening is telling me that she is gonna make a move, like really, really make a move on maybe go as far as like trying to be very flirty, even more with Taiki, to the point that she wants to confess his feelings to Taiki, like how Karen told the story, how she reached a breaking point so that she had to confess, or else it hurts her heart. I think that will happen to Hina in this part too. But knowing how romance works, be prepared for heartbreak. That's all I can say. I can see a heartbreak coming to you, full abroad train coming right at you right now. So I am so not looking forward to that, but I can already anticipate that's going to happen. But again, Blue Box, man, amazing love story. It is up there. It's not my best romance anime of all times, but I just say it's like up there in terms of how much I really enjoy seeing like how couple being with each other. Like, the thing about Blue Box is that it's not like one of those shoujo mangas where a boy being very flirty with a girl, but more like them just trying to be like a normal student at school, being very immature. Remember this, they're high schoolers, so they had to be very immature sometimes with their feelings and so I really like that approach. And what the author did really well is that they showed that how athletes think when they are in love or have a girlfriend, is how they deliver on the pitch. And I think that's what the message is for Blue Box, rather than this show is all about sports and stuff. I mean, the sporting element is good, but we're not here for that. We are here for romance, and I'm pretty sure part 2 we will see more of that sort of element of the shoujo stuff kicking in now, and I'm actually really excited. And of course, great animation and stuff like that. Blah blah blah. I don't want to repeat myself with the animation, but you can say that I'm engaged, very engaged. Like when I watch shoujo animes, I was like, oh, they're a couple already. Oh, look, a love rival. Oh, look, they're gonna have complicated relationship moments. Oh, look, they're gonna fight, they're gonna argue and stuff. I don't see any of that in Blue Box right now, and I'm really liking it so far. So that's why I am giving this show a lot of credits. But you can say it's still early days. There could be stuff happening, and I can't wait to give my overall opinion of it around March podcast.
All
yeah,
right.
I really like Blue Box. I was gassing it up before it came out, reading the manga and all that.
You were the one who told me to read the manga.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to this anime. It looks fantastic. I feel like they make the characters look so good. Which at first I was kind of like a little nervous, I feel like, until I saw probably like that first trailer that came out, because I don't know, TMS, I guess it's more so for like action. Like I'm more worried because the same studio that's doing Blue Box is doing Sakamoto Days, and I'm more worried about Sakamoto Days, to be honest, than I would say I was with this. But yeah, I just like the Mad Lad hit on it, these like the sports aspect and kind of the mental aspect that comes with that, especially when you're trying to balance that life and then also a normal life, romantic life and all that, and people you're interested in, of course. And they're teenagers, right? So I know people that may be something that they don't like, where it's like which me as well, I feel like after a certain amount of time you kind of like, all right, like speak your mind, like you've kind of been holding this in for too long, that it's probably impacting you negatively now. Because I'm usually the one who's like, okay, characters, just use your words, like just say what it is, just like talk. Which is why I'm gonna like to see. I think they actually showed her in the new trailer. Ayame,
yeah, the new one, yeah.
Yeah. She is a character that speaks her freaking mind, which is why I like her. But yeah, just I like so many of the characters in this series. We mentioned Haru, Karen, like even the side characters are really awesome, and especially the way that they impact our main cast, especially like Taiki and Chinatsu. I feel like, and Kyo. I would even throw Kyo in there as well, because Kyo's kind of he's a bro. He's a bro for Taiki and all that.
Oh, he's a wingman, all right. He's a wingman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just like the support system that the characters have around them is really awesome, and yeah, it looks really good. That's especially for a series like this that's a big thing for me with like rom-coms and all that, is like the characters, and I feel like Blue Box like hits on that really well. And there's not even been like, they're building up to it, but there hasn't even been like a confession or anything like that. So I think to already kind of have this sort of established, when those more serious moments come, I feel like it's going to be a lot more impactful. Like it's going to hit more for people, when eventually it does happen. So yeah, I've been really impressed with this adaptation, faithful adaptation, which I like to see, and I'm really excited for the second half of it, because it is 2 cores. So,
Are you actually Are you up to date with the manga? Like really?
No, I'm around chapter 120 or 130 or something like that, and I think there's like 150, 160 chapters out by this point.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I need to catch up, but I did get past the, like, I'm past the. I'm not even. I probably shouldn't even say what happens, but I mean, eventually, you guys, everyone's like, okay, a confession's gonna come at some point, But like,
Memory, can I just ask?
I'm not gonna say when, but
where do you think the season will finish?
I don't even know. I have to see the most recent episode, because I don't even know. I don't even know where it left off.
Because episode 13 is basically the start of the second half of the season, and we saw some great moments of Karen. But I've been told that we got one more character to be introduced. That has been voiced by Kana Ichinose. So
yeah, I'm curious how people are going to feel about her. Like I said, she's a character that speaks her mind. That could be for better or for worse. But yeah, she is a character that'll say what is on her mind, and she does. She just.
Is she going to be Is she going to be another love rival?
No.
Ooh. Okay, good.
No.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
she may be an interest. She may be an interest for another character.
But let's just say, because like Hina and Chinatsu war right now is getting a bit too heated right now, so I want to see how that ends. But yeah, let Kawaii have his mind.
For me, I'm not sure if there's really. I mean, I feel like I don't really have too much stuff new that I want to say about this series. Ever since we did our last podcast, to be honest, like, as much as I enjoy the show, I don't feel like we have too significant of a development when it comes to like Taiki and Chinatsu's relationship, or like, maybe some of the sports stuff we got going on. But I'm still really enjoying it. But yeah, Karen though, I mean, what is this? I mean, what is this? What is there left to say about Karen that hasn't been said already? Yeah, I'm also on board the Karen hype train. After I watched the latest episode,
she's what you call a definition of a strong girl.
Yes,
strong.
I agree. Ever since she was introduced, ever since the most recent episode, I gotta say she might actually be best girl for me. I mean, like, for a while I was sure it was Chinatsu, but no, Karen just stepped along. And yeah, that's when I saw the light. That's when everything changed for me. Because yeah, I really like the way that I really like how supportive, like the way she motivates Taiki to just go get Chinatsu. The way she's kind of basically helping to push their relationship along. I really like that. Also love the relationship she has with Haru. I've said this before, I'm kind of a sucker when it comes to romance shows that have like more than one relationship focus. And I really wish we do get to see more of Haru and Karen's relationship, even though I doubt that's going to happen. But yeah.
I think they might focus more on there's a prologue, a light novel. They're in it.
Light novel?
A light novel?
There's a prologue novel for the series that I know they're in it. I don't know how much it focuses on them, but I know they're in it, Haru and Karen. So
Actually, memory, I can actually do. We will see more of them after, later in the series, or we
Yeah.
just gonna see more
Yeah.
of them. Okay. Good.
Are you talking about yeah, they'll be around. Yeah, they're gonna be around.
No, I mean like more like a chapter dedicated to them.
I don't remember, honestly. It's been a
Okay.
minute since I've read, but
No worries. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. I just, like I said, you can see how much I want more from them already. It's just that
Yeah.
the dynamic relationship for each other is just so well balanced out really well. So because like
yeah, I think that prologue novel came out actually the beginning of this month. I don't know if it's translated though, but that might be something looking into. If I
Okay.
want to read it, I haven't even read it, but if it focuses more on them two, and then obviously the other characters as well, I heard they're in it, so
good.
yeah, and it is from the original author too. It's not like someone else doing it or whatever. So,
but yeah.
I still have some things I want to say too. Or are you done, Kawaii?
No, actually, I'm not quite done yet.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, going back to my thoughts on Karen. But yeah, I really like how she's what she's doing for Taiki and China's relationship. Also, she's just gorgeous. She's just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, Karen probably the best girl of the series for me so far. Honestly, I mean, if more Karens in real life were like her, the world would be a much better place.
Bro, so can we just say that she has one hell of a body? Oh
yeah,
my
god,
god,
she's gorgeous. Yeah,
she's giving Karen's a positive rep, bro.
Yep,
For
doing
sure.
Karen's justice.
Oh
But however, I still think Chinatsu is still the best girl for Taiki. And then kind of relate to that, Hina. Oh man, yeah. I'm still not a fan of the way she's basically like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still understand why people like her, but I still kind of feel like she's getting in the way of Chinatsu and Taiki's relationship. Their development.
He's fighting for Taiki. That's the purpose
definitely.
of it.
Also, oh yeah, one thing I've got to mention during our last podcast is that for those who don't know, Taiki is voiced by Shoya Chiba and Hina is voiced by Akari Kito. One could even say that this is one of the weirdest reunions between Ayana Koji and Suzune from Classroom of the Elite. And yeah, that's kind of like one of the things I've been thinking every time I see those two on screen. But yeah, also like the ED is surprisingly like Hina focused, so I think that's a very curious decision.
That's enough hint to tell you that this is gonna be Hina focused season.
Yeah, either that or like the animators just really like her, and they just really want to gas her up. What else? Oh yeah, there's a. What I will say though is that there's a part of me that's hoping that that she's probably inevitably gonna lose, and however I'm hoping that she'll find some happiness with that one guy who is kind of crushing on her. I'm hoping maybe just maybe we may see something between them, although highly unlikely. But yeah, other than that, Blue Box, a really enjoyable rom-com for me so far. And we are pretty much in the swing of the second core, so the second half of the anime. So yeah, I'm looking forward, eager to see how things develop. All right, Anapode.
All right. Yes. So at first I thought that I was not gonna have a lot to say, and I really don't. But then I thought, okay, maybe my points have gone down for this show, maybe because I'm not as strong about it. But then I checked my score now on Analyst, and I actually have it as an 8.5 out of 10. So I was like, So maybe it's like I'm watching, I'm hooked, but then I don't remember specific details of what I was liking. I just enjoyed watching the episodes. So that's a positive thing, I would say. I guess the things I can say is that I agree with, because I don't watch a lot of sports anime, actually. They don't usually interest me very much. But this mix of sports and romance actually been working pretty well for me.
Yeah.
I while I do think Shinatsu has a great moments, I still prefer Hina. I'm not. I'm a bit behind, so I've not met Karen yet, actually. Although when you say the word Karen, I'm usually thinking.
Yeah, the
connecting
other
that
type of
something
Karen, the
negative.
bad Karen.
Yeah. She's like the different type of Karen. We need more Karens like her, I guess. And also, I want to mention also what you mentioned before. The other guy, his name was Kyo, right?
Yeah,
Taiki's
Taiki's
friend,
friend.
the friend character.
Yeah. He is great too, which is very interesting actually, because I never doubted him when I watched the episode with him. I think it was episode 3 or something like that. He was introduced. I was like, well, he's probably a good guy, He's just trying to push Taiki to become better, and that's a good thing. He's a great friend. But I remember I saw another reactor, and actually while you guys were talking, I was looking at his playlist of his reactions of the show. And he removed episode 3 reaction. He had it before, and I think his thumbnail was something like, I don't like Kyo. And I think he was mostly focusing on Kyo being a love interest to Shinatsu, but that wasn't even the case at all. He has his own girlfriend. But yeah, that video is not.
Oh,
not
you're talking about
anymore.
Haru. You're talking about Haru, my bad. I thought you were talking about Kyo.
The guy, the other.
Yeah, the dude who Taiki like mistakenly thought like, oh, Chinatsu's into him. Yeah. That's Haru. I thought you were talking about his other.
Yeah, I thought you were talking
about
Kyo too.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I meant Haru. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like he was never a love interest, but he thought
misunderstanding. Yeah,
and he made like the thumbnail there, but the video's not up anymore. So either he was copyright or maybe people criticized him. I don't know. I didn't really look at the video or the comments, but I never mind. I don't have anything else really to say. I'm surprised I had it as an 8 out of 10 actually, because I don't in detail can describe what I like, but. I'm guessing it's gonna be much higher when I see Karen. So I guess
that's the thing. I'm glad you brought up the sports thing, because I feel like for like you're not the only one. I feel like a lot of people kind of shy away from like, well, they see sports maybe on this and they're like, oh, like. But I feel like they do focus on the sports, but the sports it's not like a full blown like sports anime. Like the sports is more so used like as a vehicle kind of in a way to like drive the romance, drive the character progression and development, stuff like that. It's like they do focus on it, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not like a thing where it's just like in your face all the time, sports like Ace of Diamond, like Haikyuu, like stuff like that. Like it's different. In that regard,
because I was never really into Haikyuu actually. I have it on pause until further notice, which probably means never.
but it's like it's a good mix of both for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I like sports when it mixed with something else, like for example, good drama, which is why I'm very curious. For example, in the next upcoming season, the medalist one, because it looks like it will be a lot of drama on that as well. But off topic. But yeah, just as you say, if it's not just sports, because then I'm not interested. But if it's a good backstory, for example, or romance or drama, then yeah. But I just don't usually focus on sports anime.
All right. Other than that, it sounds like we are ready to move on now. Next up on the list is an isekai anime that I think it has fell off, unfortunately. Arifureta Season 3.
Okay. That's time to cook.
Time to cook. Man.
Time to cook. Okay. Okay, is it just me and Kawaii that watched this anime?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, first off, if Oliver, if you're watching this, how do you enjoy this season more than season 2 and 1? I just don't get it, man. But, okay. Arifureta season 2. I mean, see how much I love season 2 and season 3?
Yeah, exactly.
Season 3. Arifureta season 3. Right. What the fuck is going on with the production? Like, what the hell is going on with the production? I don't know why, but I just feel like the late couple of episodes into the season already, is showing signs of season 1 again. Like season 2 was decent with some of the stuff happening with it, with some of the we still got CGI and stuff, but the way some of the stuff happening in season 3 is just like, oh my god, they're not improving it, they're not making it any better compared to season 1. And bro, the character design, some of the still frames, and some of the wacky look on the faces, I was like, huh? What is going on? And to make things worse, why the story felt so rushed now? Because I really feel like they're cutting content. I have not read the light novel. I stopped reading the light novel after volume 3, and I have very, very good reason why I stopped reading is because the book is this thick. One volume is this thick.
Yeah, they're
thick.
It's
this thick. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I'm not reading all of that. And then I've been told from light novel readers on Twitter this morning that they're actually speed running volume 9 right now. We're on volume 9 right now, so they're literally speed running this season. And we got 5 more episodes to go. And you know what happened with the latest next episode announcement? They're gonna get delayed for 2 weeks.
Delay.
2 weeks. What? That is well within the middle, or should I say the start of the winter season. And here's the thing about the momentum of the story when you decide to... Here's the thing you should know about the momentum of momentum in anime broadcasting. When you delay an anime, you lose the algorithm. You lose the momentum of people talking about it. The reason why I won't be surprised if Danmachi still talk about it when they release in the spring season, because Danmachi has a huge fan base. For Arifureta, barely anyone even talking about it right now. Only like every time I go on Twitter, only some Twitter pages that post pictures and videos do kind of talk about it, but the algorithm of people talking about on Twitter, non-existent right now. So that's why I would say the reason why I'll be more worried for Arifureta than Danmachi is because Arifureta doesn't have the same hype for it compared to Danmachi. Danmachi is because we're in the battle arc right now. Arifureta is just a repeated plot line of every season. So we can say I am not that surprised if no one actually watches the Arifureta episode 12. Or should I say even know it came back. So that's why I'm more worried. People would like even get remember the I tagged you to a post this morning, Hawaii.
Yeah,
I got 2 idiots came to me and said, but delay for 2 weeks. Danmachi delayed for spring season, so you don't need to be so worried about it. Are you guys stupid? The reason why I'm worried about it is because Arifureta doesn't have, like I said, I told you guys, doesn't have the same level of fan base that can gas it up to get people talking about it again. Danmachi will always have people talking about it on Twitter, regardless of how long you delay it for. 86, the same back in 2022. The reason why people still talk about it is because that final 2 episode was very impactful, and that's why people talk about it. And the light novel fan bases are quite big too. But Arifureta, people gave up on the series since the light novel finished already, since season 1. And the reason why season 2 was kind of well received was because there was a moment with kawaii that she died, and that was the only thing that people look forward to in season 2. And season 3, not a lot of people are looking forward to anything other than Shizuku about to do something, which I'm not gonna say what they told me. What they told me on Twitter. So that's why I mean by I'm more worried for Arifureta than Danmachi. It's because the Arifureta doesn't have the same traction they have. So that's why I was a little bit pissed off when people came to me and said, but Danmachi's delayed, but Arifureta is only 2 weeks. Don't you guys know that Arifureta doesn't have the same traction again? So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still gonna watch Arifureta, but I've given up making full length reaction for it now. I'm just gonna stick to making YouTube short for it, because like this is really not healthy for my algorithm for my channel now. So, but yeah, I gotta say, Arifureta lately has really been, been boring. trust me, I don't get. I usually get excited for new episode of Arifureta for the past 2 seasons, but in season 3, I just like, oh yeah, we got Arifureta episode. What we on again? Oh yeah, we're on to this already. I don't even have the same level of interest for it anymore. Like I just don't know. Like it's just something about the recent plot line. It just doesn't really hit the same now. Now with Koki and the others joining in too, I feel like they're more of a nuisance compared to how Kaori was back then. Kaori was there just to add more spice to the harem, of course. That I want to enjoy. But Koki, the little girl that gives people nicknames, and the big guy, which I forgot his name, but man, those 3 men, I just find them really irritating sometimes. Just being there was irritating. Just seeing Koki was irritating, and now they tag along with Hajime because he feels guilty for not able to do much in this world. Like the latest episode, he was like. To be honest, the latest episode, what I like about it is that his feelings is been hurt now from everyone, how he really feels like towards Hajime. So that's why I like that. That's the latest episode, how his feelings been shared. But oh my god, the last part of the episode was just like, okay, so Hajime is gonna be by himself now. He's gonna fight his own alter ego, and he will obviously able to beat his alter ego, and he move on to the next round. Good end of story. And I won't be surprised if the final 4 episode of the season we're gonna see the return of Eri, causing a more hassle for them. But yeah, Arifureta in a nutshell for me, it's just that season 3 it's just a complete fell off, to be honest.
Wasn't it Smiley who said that this was like the best season?
Yeah, he really. Well, I mean, that's during like the mid-season broadcast, but yeah, he's enjoying this. Well, I mean, he enjoyed it back then. I don't know what his thoughts are right now.
I think people call it a good season for a certain character, not in general.
He said animation actually, I think, because it was less CGI.
Have you seen the latest episode?
No, I'm not watching it myself, but
yeah. For me, yeah, this Arifureta season 3 has been largely disappointing. And it sucks to see because, like, like many other people, I really enjoyed season 2. And I mean, to be fair, like, I wasn't really too crazy on season 3 in the first place, because during the first half either, because, like, I don't know, there's some about, like, what's been going on during the first half of the season 3 that I just, like, the events I just wasn't too crazy for, especially episode 3 when the princess got sexually assaulted, but yeah, I wasn't really too fan of the series in the first place, and now. Not the series, the season in the first place. And then now, yeah, with the animation issues, the production issues going on, it just kind of plummets my enjoyment even less. Even more, I should say. Because, yeah, the animation is just not good. I mean, obviously, the Arifureta, the anime series in general isn't known for its stellar animation. But I at least expected something better than what we got. I don't know what's going on in the production end, but yeah, it's not good. Have you guys seen what I tweeted earlier today? My post earlier today on Twitter? Okay, well,
I don't think did you post a video? I just saw the caption. I said you said something about the CGI being better than the 2D and or something like that.
Yeah,
like when
all right.
you never thought you'd see the day or something.
I never thought I'd see the day where the CGI looks better than the 2D animation. And that's in reference to the latest episode where we saw those like those ice soldiers, those ice soldier guys. Those guys actually look pretty freaking cool. And they're in 3D, they're in CGI, and for some reason, like, they look better than the actual 2D animation, which is crazy to me, because as many of us all know, the first episode was panned, and even not the first episode, the first season was panned, and hell, even the second season was panned for its atrocious CGI. But the CGI did start to get better during around the second season. Even though there were still some like sore spots here and there. But yeah, like, and now we got to the third season, and I don't know what's going on with the animation, but yeah, the CGI actually looks really good. I even joked during my live reaction to the latest episode, episode 11, that if they're gonna make a season 4, they might as well just make it completely 100% 3D. Because if this is how the 2D is gonna look from now on, I don't want to be around to see it. I don't want to be around to see any more of it. Unless they make some huge improvements. Also, what's disappointing is, of course, as Mala mentioned, the delays between all the episodes. I mean, they're legit pretty much doing the same thing. What they did with like the release schedule for "Whisper Me a Love Song" and Zom 100, like just delays due to production issues, and like there's just huge like inconsistent gaps between each episode. But yeah, Arifureta season 3, it's it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of disappointing. Yeah, it's kind of a disappointment for me. I really wanted to like it after how much I enjoyed season 2, but it just wasn't meant to be. Man, I remember like
season 2 was 2 years ago, by the way.
That's crazy.
It was 2 years ago, like post-COVID reaction. But
yeah,
I mean,
I was about to say, I just still can't get over the animation. I remember like during that one scene where Suzu was falling down the ice ravine. Like, it shows like this really still like animation of her just falling down the ice ravine. And I was like, did they just hire the same animators as Uzumaki? Because that's pretty much exactly what it looked like. It reminded me of that one moment in episode 4 of Uzumaki. So yeah, that was terrible. But yeah, that's what.
But yeah. But what Kawaii said though, I think season 3 really started to show its forward now. I mean, of course, you can say I still watching it because I like Arifureta, but not like really, like it more like just enjoy watching it. But it's just like some of the plot line for this new season, it just doesn't really grab my full attention now. Like, I mean, yes, full praise for Shia for getting her character development, so I'm very happy for her because she was my very first favorite character. But so now what? So we're telling us that they're gonna conquer another Labrium, they're gonna overcome this trial, and then everyone's gonna be happily ever after. I'm hoping you guys have something interesting happening next episode, but again, the one thing that I've been hearing a lot from a lot of people talking on Twitter, or those who still exist on Twitter just talk about Arifureta, is how much that this girl will finally get her spotlight that she truly deserves. And I'm pretty sure, Kawaii, you know who I'm talking about. So, but yeah, in 2 weeks, man, in fucking 2 weeks, then we have to return. Like, bro, trust me, I won't even be surprised to see anyone talking about Arifureta anymore, man. So,
right. All right.
See, I just got another fucking comment in my YouTube short. 2 weeks compared to Damachi April. You guys don't understand. Oh my god, I've been getting like another. This is the fourth person saying, "Oh yeah, 2 weeks compared to Damachi." Guys, Jesus Christ.
You might need to make like a video or something, like just like, because that seems to be a common misconception. Like a common comparison.
I just gonna reply to them. So.
All right. Well, it sounds like we're ready to move on now. Next up on the list is Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online Season 2.
Memory, did you finish it?
Yes.
And Kawaii, I assume you also finish it?
Admittedly, I didn't finish it. Actually, I'm actually a few episodes behind.
Okay. Okay. Where do I start with Gun Gale Online? Okay. First off, it's an anime that I have history with because it was one of my my very first anime that I reacted to. The previous podcast said the same thing, and I really have the same vibe of it. With the tournament arc, we get to see how everyone fight each other. We get to see some of the spotlight for certain characters that we haven't really seen much of in season 1. good for you guys. The second half of the season, what the fuck, man? So we're all in this together. So that is literally the final 4 or 5 episodes of the season. We're all in this together to take down the NPCs. Like, oh my god!
I didn't really find the whole thing with the NPCs interesting until the very end, how they left off the season when they revealed what's actually happening with the NPCs.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was like the most interesting part of it. It was but actually, like, while watching it, I was like, I really don't care about this, especially in comparison to what we had before that, right? Like with the squad jam and all that, and then the twist with that happened, like with the betrayer.
Yeah,
and that was like
interesting.
And then the fight on the boat, like that was like the boat tilting like vertically, and they're like fighting on the boat. I was like, that got pretty nuts. And then like the headbutt when Len was headbutting. Yeah, that was like was crazy.
That was season 1 vibe. That was season 1-esque vibes.
Yeah,
again.
that was like the peak of the season for me, for sure, of this season of GGO alternative. But yeah, the last bit I wasn't as interested in, for sure.
I said, everyone hate each other, everyone fight each other. Oh, let's just write a story about how they all had to work together and just take down the NPC. I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about that, man. But in the end, they did. Len once again was the hero of the day. Blah blah blah. Although what I was hoping for the second half of the season was seeing more of them in real life, seeing Karen doing more, in Sword Online we get to see Kirito and Asuna back in season 2, where they deal with a certain character in real life. I was hoping that we more so see their real life more than the game now. So that will make things more interesting in terms of the storyline. But it's just like the fact that they focus on them finding the NPCs. I was just like, I don't really like it as much though. Like I really want to see more of them dealing with their real life issues, and then more of them playing the game. So I was a little bit disappointed with that. And you know what disappointed me even more, because I actually said this in the video. Oh, I'm hoping we get to see Kirito, the girl Kirito, and Shinon jumping in out of nowhere. I mean, dude,
they did show Kirito, but
Kirito mentioned Kirito, for fuck's sake. I was like, oh, could this be it? Could this be the moment we can see Kirito showing up? That, trust me, if Kirito shows up, GGO will be peak again.
No! If he was in the mix with these characters, that would be so freaking cool, dude.
Now, dude, remember season 3, like when Kirito, Shinon, and Asuna were playing GGO?
Yeah.
I thought we might be seeing them
like coming in. Cameo or something, yeah.
Yeah, the cameo or something. Like I was like, oh my god, could this be it? But sadly enough, this is from a different author. This is a spin-off, not written by Reiki. So we can there's copyright laws apparently for this. So so annoying, man. But yeah, I mean, second half of the season really was a downgrade for me. I gave it a very low score. If season 2, if the second half of the season is what I told you right now, it's Kirito cameo, or at least focus on them in real life, then I might give it a higher score. But because therefore finding NPC, a very boring plotline, a very boring finale, I was like, I can't even give it anything higher than a 7, to be honest. So
yeah, I would agree. I enjoyed season 1 definitely more. There were still some nice. There was still like I still had fun with, a good, a couple parts of the season, but. Yeah, the last stretch was kind of rough to get through.
I mean, it took them 6 years, by the way. 6 years after season 2. I was like, what's going on? Okay, but yeah, I mean, to be honest though, I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, even though I criticized heavily on the second half of the season, but I still enjoyed it. It's just that some of the story plot line, I was hoping them to really mix things up a little bit, or at least giving Kirito a cameo. But it's just, I don't know, just something about second half season. It's just telling that they're a little bit lazy right now with how they write the story. Like, oh yeah, everyone is against each other. Oh yeah, I can't really see much of the the full cyborg, like people dressed up in full armor from Tron Legacy. I was like, oh yeah, they finally got the moment to shine after they've been stuck on a fucking building. So, I'm very happy for them. that's all I can say about the second half season. We get to see what they are about, playing defensive war and stuff. But still, I really hope to. I was really looking forward to hopefully see more Karen in real life. Len, Len in real life. But yeah, not it, man. Second half season was downgrade, to be honest. So that's why. Also, not to mention A1 Pictures, they really did not live up to my hype for how they deliver season 2 compared to the other studio that delivered season 1. I think the other studio that delivered season 1 was much better than what A1 Picture did in this season. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say for GGO. So any final say for it, Memory?
No, I would say I pretty much said what I wanted to say. You hit on it pretty well too.
I don't think we're gonna get season 3, to be honest. I don't see season 3 coming. I think season 2 will be it, though.
Yeah, I would like. I mean, I don't want to rule it out entirely, but I feel like it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah. Well, now, I mean, maybe this could be a sign that SAO could be coming back very soon. Remember,
I
SAO,
hope so.
because SAO actually announced.
There's still that movie they announced, right?
Yeah, exactly. They announced that movie 2 years ago, by the way, and we still have no news around it. Well, maybe in Anime Japan next year. Wait, who knows? So, yeah, we just have to be patient with it and just see how it goes, man. But yeah, GGO, not gonna lie, season 2 was more downgraded, to be honest.
Yeah.
But even though I was hyped for it because it was one of my very first anime reaction I did for my channel, I was very happy to see it coming back to have this so nostalgic feeling again. I mean, if you compare my reaction to the season 1 to season 2, there's a big contrast to it. So that's why I really liked it to see it. I really like the fact that it returned for that reasoning for me to tell my new audience about it. But that's the only good thing I can take out of GGO this season.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna be honest. Season 2 has actually been quite a disappointment for me, and the reason why I say that, and the reason why I'm falling like a few episodes behind on it, is for one pretty petty reason, and it's actually something that I mentioned during our last podcast, and it's the whole betrayer arc. I still think the whole betrayer arc and the whole circumstances surrounding like how it started and how what exactly it is, it really bogged down my enjoyment of the show for me. Now, for those who haven't seen our last podcast, our mid-season impressions podcast, basically, the reason why I don't like the betrayer arc is because like, as someone who does play quite a bit of FPS shooter games, like the whole circumstances surrounding it, right? It's like, okay, you have they're supposed to have one person from each team. They're supposed to betray their squad. It happens right after the whole squad royale thing. They have one person betray the squad for, I guess, balancing purposes, and they're supposed to form their own team. They're supposed to fight against everyone else, all the other teams in the game. And I really don't like that because no multiplayer FPS game in real life is gonna fucking do that. Nobody wants to betray their own squad like that in an actual multiplayer game. And I know people are there.
Unless you're Pito.
Yeah, I know they're gonna be people that are gonna be like, oh, but Kawaii Crew, it's just an anime. Get over it. It's just fiction. There's no bearings in real life. Yeah, I get that. But still, it's just like, I mean, as someone who can actually, who has some experience with has a lot of experience with video games, I just can't. I want to look over that, but I just can't look past that. It's stupid because like there's really nothing. I still don't find anything that actually prevents them from just not going with the rules. Like, what's stopping them from not jumping on that platform? What's stopping them from not accepting the invitation to join the Betrayer Squad. Nothing. There is nothing that I've seen so far. I just feel like it's such a cheap way to just get Pito against Len again.
Against Len, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as much as I wanted to look past it, I just can't get over it. Like, I just can't get over it. I mean,
so wait, did you ever see the twist that happened at the end of with the betrayer stuff or no?
Yeah.
What episode was that?
The second, I think it was episode.
Was it
6.
8 or 9?
I think it was 6. Yeah, I think it was 6.
Oh, I thought it was a little bit later. But
wait, what? 6? Wait, 6? I think I watched episode 6. Wait, which one are you talking about?
The part where
he would know the twist. He would know the twist.
Oh, was it well, I guess spoiler alert, but was it where it was revealed that Len was the actual betrayer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that. I mean, yeah, I saw the twist. I mean, to be honest, it didn't surprise me all that much because I saw some predictions online that people were predicting that that was going to be the case. But still, though, it's still like a way to just pit Len against Pito against each other. I feel like.
Yeah.
So, I didn't really like that. So yeah, there's not really much. Honestly, there's really not much I could say about season 2. I really wanted to like this more, but it's just not for me. And that's pretty much all I could say about that. So I think we're ready to move on now.
Yeah, let's move on.
Next up on the list, Dragon Ball Daima. Another one I'm not watching.
Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, man.
Yeah, boy. That was peak, though.
Yeah, I know people were like hyped for that, and then some people were hating on it because it's like, oh, we get to see him in his chibi form when he's doing it, blah, blah, blah. Which I agree. It would have been way cooler if he wasn't in the whole, child thing. Yeah, but
hey, it happened. So
yeah, still something that people have wanted for a long time. So I just hope we can still see now that he's done this. Like when they do go back to normal, hopefully, or whenever that does happen. Like hopefully we can still see it when he, is in his regular form, obviously, but I don't even know if they'll do that. But yeah, that's also another thing. Like Super Saiyan 3, I wouldn't say like the other things we've been getting is stuff that people have necessarily. I'm sure there's people that have wanted or asked for it, but like we've got a lot more lore and a lot more like explanations for certain things in this, like different perspectives even too, which I think is pretty cool to see, especially like with Majin Buu, and then even going into more of the like who created Majin Buu, right? And then who also like the Supreme Kais and their origins and going more into them, I think is really cool. So like I know there's a lot of bits of this new Dragon Ball thing where a lot of people have kind of been hating on it and whatnot. People forget Toriyama was like he was a gag mangaka. Like that was what his stuff was. That's a lot of what he was known for, was doing this just silly, goofy stuff, right? So like when you see Majin Ku, the new Majin forms, Majin Do or whatever, Majin Ku and Majin Do, like I'm just like, this is Dragon Ball. This is what this series is. Like I don't know why people are complaining or hating on it or whatever. Like this, this is what Toriyama, that's what he did for so much stuff. So like there has been some goofiness in there, but also I think the thing that I appreciate the most out of Daima so far, aside from the production has been spectacular, but we've been getting more lore, insight, background information for a lot of characters, like even Piccolo with his dad and like where his dad came from or where Piccolo is from. Like that was cool. But getting more from the Supreme Kais, getting more on like who created Majin Buu, like things like that, things of that nature. I really, and even like the universe and like how they, like move and teleport between the universes and stuff like that, and like when they were created, how they were created. Like they've actually gave us a good bit of new like content that we never knew before with Dragon Ball, and it is canon material. Like this is canon stuff. This is stuff that Toriyama wrote. So it's not like people are gonna be like, oh, this isn't canon. This is some GT stuff, whatever, blah blah blah. But no, this stuff that we're getting in this is actually canon. So that's the thing that I like the most about this new thing with Dragon Ball is that kind of material that we've got. The Goku versus the Tamagami was like that fight was actually really awesome. I did like the Vegeta one too. There's been some really cool moments. The production's really nice, but I just feel like, I'm probably biased too because I have a soft spot for Dragon Ball, but I've been enjoying Daima, to be honest. There's some little problems I have with it, but it's I've been, for the most part, I would say I've been having a good time with it. So yeah, that would be my thoughts on it so far.
I actually love Dragon Ball. I've grown up with it. I had all the manga books, at least from until the end of Dragon Ball Z. So I'm a huge fan of the old Dragon Ball. Despite that, I actually decided to drop this one because I guess I wasn't too invested in the story where they turn into children again.
Yeah.
It wasn't really for me. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't for me. I did talk a little bit about it in the last podcast, so I'm not going to add anything extra there. You did mention the good animation. I agree. Except there were some situations which I talked about in the first podcast with the whole being back into place at Kami's home after Goku kicked it and broke it. That was very weird. And also the tower. What was the name of the tower that's under Kami's house? Do you remember the tower, the big tower, where the beams are?
Are you talking about where Yajirobe is? Are you talking about that? Are you talking about?
Yeah, the tower where up on the top is the cat that gives him the beans.
Oh. I don't even remember the name of it. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, but you know what tower it is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So
like Yajirobe be chilling up there with the cat and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one. So there was actually a scene where the tower was tilting like that in the anime. So that was also a bit weird. But it's minor issues. But yeah, I dropped it. Just the concept of them turning into children wasn't really for me. I love the old Dragon Ball though. That they're amazing.
Like the original Dragon Ball, like the first one.
Yes, like
same.
One thing that I miss is the tournaments.
Yeah,
we didn't have a single tournament.
The martial arts. That first martial arts tournament was awesome because it had a mix of like the silliness that Toriyama loved, but also like some of the fights were like really like serious, and you got invested in them too.
Especially when they were talking. I still remember. Do you remember the fight where Kami had transformed into taken over the body of this Shen guy? I think.
Yeah.
He was. Mm-hmm. And he was fighting Piccolo there.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say really.
Anybody else? Do you watch it, Mad Lad, or no?
YouTube short, and I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm only watching it for the moments. So, so what memory told me, what memory said right there, said all the stuff right there. I was like, oh, so that's what it's all about. Because Dragon Ball Daima, I'm only reacting to the best moments just to, benefit my channel algorithm. So that's all I can say. But I like the latest episode where we get to see some Super Saiyan 3. I heard that it's quite significant for Vegeta. So yeah, good for him, I guess. Good for him.
Yeah, the animation for it was like really good too. Like especially like the water effects on the like when he was transforming. Like it reminded me of like the Battle of Gods movie. Like that was actually really cool. But
I would have loved the remake of the original Dragon Ball, like in today's time. Then I would 100% watch from the start.
Okay.
Yeah, the OG Dragon Ball is really good.
Alrighty then. I think we were ready to move on now. Next up on the list is an anime that has been really fucking good so far. Orb, all about the movement of the Earth.
or should I say, or the killing of all the MCs.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was looking before this started. I was looking out for it mostly because it was like Madhouse. That was really like the primary reason. Because I was like, okay, I'll keep this on my radar. But then I watched it, and then especially after episode 3 was when it like really hooked me. I think that's where it really hooked a lot of people was episode 3. But yeah, this series has really surprised me. I did not think I was gonna enjoy it this much, honestly. I've heard like I think this season's actually gonna, because it's gonna be 2 cores straight, and I think it's actually gonna adapt the whole manga, because the manga's like 60 chapters around there. So
60.
yeah, so it's gonna be a complete adaptation. So we'll have the ending of the series and everything like at the end, which is nice to know. But yeah, the whole like way they I would say it's like the passing of the torch, right? In a way, I love just that concept that even from like we had Raphael, who's like a teenager, right? He's a genius. It kind of, and then it moves on to an older guy, like an older dude, totally different situation, totally different mindset. I love that that passing of the torch, sort of thing. They symbolize it like with the necklace and all of that. But I'm trying to think of what this series kind of like really reminds me of, and I guess like the closest thing maybe would be like Vinland Saga, like. But this series is like, I don't know, it kind of stands off on its own. Like I can't really think of many things it really reminds me of. But yeah, there's some awesome characters in this series. Like even Raphael, I know it was like 3 episodes or whatever, but like still his impact, you still kind of think about it or feel later on in the series as it goes along. But Denny, the character they switched to after Raphael, what's his name? Oxy. I don't.
Yeah.
The pronunciations for the names are probably weird or different because they're like, I think it's Polish. But yeah, Nowak as well. Like him being around through all of this, even from Raphael to, he's like, wait, I saw this necklace before. Like this is like from years and years and years ago. So him being around, like, he can see it firsthand, the kind of progression and the change in mindset between like, well, obviously it was kind of, I guess it was like kind of seeds being planted in his mind essentially from like Raphael back then, but like now with Oxy and Badeni and stuff like that. At least because I think I'm maybe in 2 episodes behind, but like even from like, I think you can kind of tell that his character is starting to maybe like reevaluate or like think. He's kind of becoming more open-minded, I guess, to like the idea that our characters like Oxy, Raphael, things like that have, what they believe in. And yeah, he's a very intriguing character to me as well. But yeah, like the direction in this series, especially some of the ways the episodes have been handled, like when Oxy fought Nowak, like that. The episode before that, how they left it off on a cliffhanger, and then it went into that next episode where they, had the little encounter on the road of the fight. That was like the way they directed those 2 episodes, I really, really enjoyed. I need to catch up to, like, I think there's probably an episode or 2 out now. But yeah, this series, I feel like under the radar for a lot of people. A lot of people probably still haven't checked this series out, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's kind of like a niche. I feel like it's sort of like a niche thing. It's not going to be something that, like, the idea of it, you read the synopsis, it's not going to be something that really interests you, I feel like. But I don't know. I got hooked after that episode 3 for sure, and I've been in it. I've been invested ever since. So I was kind of nervous too because they switched from a character I was coming to like and find really interesting with Raphael, and then they switched. I was kind of nervous, but then like with Badeni and with Oxy and still Nowak being around, like I really still have been enjoying the series. So yeah, they'll probably end up switching to someone else though if it follows the same
The
formula.
girl, it's the girl, man. It's the girl.
They could have already done it. I'm about episode or 2 behind, but
I think it's yeah. Yeah, for me.
I forgot to mention her too, Jolenta. Yeah,
yeah,
I forgot to mention
Lenta's
her.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, oh man, you know, I remember back in our mid-season podcast, like I know even back then there was so many people praising this anime, but I wasn't too crazy about it at the time. Like I enjoyed it enough, but I wasn't too crazy about it. But then, oh man, lately, I think right around once the second half started coming along, I think it was around episode maybe like 9 or 10 for me, where I was like, okay, this is actually getting really good so far. I can see the hype now. My eyes have been opened. I'm like the Danny DeVito meme. Oh my god, I get it now. Yeah, this show is so good. And for me, I just really like how like the way it's all executed. With basically how this show's kind of hard to describe. Like for those who have never really watched it, it's kind of hard to describe how like what makes this show good. You know, because like okay, the premise may sound hella boring. You know, it's about like it's an anime about like 16th century Poland, 17th century Poland, and these characters like it's heliocentrism versus the church and the prevailing theory of geocentrism. Now, to the average anime goer, that may seem hella boring, especially when you consider the fact, there's no flashy fight scenes, there's no fan service of any kind, there's no common character archetypes, no moe. That might sound hella boring, and in fact, like I'm still very surprised that a lot of people consider this to be like a hidden gem, like this series took off the way it was, because it definitely didn't seem like the type of anime that I think would be pretty popular among anime goers, but I was wrong. Because this show, I think people still consider this to be like a hidden gem of the fall season. But yeah, what I like, the best way I can describe it, what I like about this is that I think the way, I think the show does a really good job at just illustrating what exactly heliocentrism means to all of these characters. Like the commitment they have to like just preserving and like figuring out the truth. And like how, like for Oxy, like it shows like he went from like this dude who like was just kind of dragged into it. Like he didn't really want to study astronomy at first. He was just kind of caught up in the flow of these circumstances. But then as the series progresses, it's like heliocentrism slowly means something to him. It gets to a point where he's like, heliocentrism is my faith now.
Like he's ready to die.
Yeah, he's ready to die for that shit, and I really like that. We also got Badeni as well. I like how like intelligent he was and how committed he was. I just think in general he's just a really cool character, especially with his scars and all of that. Even though like he's a priest who the majority of the the church in the anime is totally against heliocentrism. I like how he stands out from the crowd in that regard. And we also talk about Yolenta as well. Raphael, I think he was a really great character. I'm still surprised that he died so soon. Like literally just 3 episodes in. So yeah. But what I really want to talk about is the last 2, the most recent 2 episodes. Memory, I know you aren't caught up. How much do you care about?
I only haven't watched episode 14.
Oh, okay.
So that's it. I haven't watched the newest episode, which came out like what 2 days ago.
Okay. Do you want me to like? Do you want to just like plug your like mute your?
I mean,
your
if someone if someone dies, if they go to the next character, I'm not really surprised. I figured it was gonna happen at some point. So if it has to do with that, then
I can get spoiled too. I'm also a bit behind, but it's no problem.
Okay. Well, spoiler alert. But yeah, as one can probably predict, yeah. But Danny and Oxley they do get executed. But even that scene was just like really well done in my opinion, especially regarding when Oxley, the last thing before he gets hanged, he gets executed. The last thing he sees is the stars. The thing that he initially feared at first, the sky that he initially was so afraid of at first, he sees it and he finds beauty. That, and he wants that to be the last thing he sees before he dies. That is just, oh my god, the way that I just find that so well done. And then we get to episode 14, and now it's focused on Yolenta, and those two inquisitors that don't really want to torture people. Those two young inquisitors that don't really want to torture people. And I gotta say, that latest episode, oh man, I actually, that annoyed me, but for all the right reasons. Because, and I say that because, since Yolenta, of course, has connections to Oxy, naturally, I mean, the Inquisitors are gonna go after her. They're gonna start, questioning her. Now, at first, it just starts off with those two young Inquisitors questioning her, and they were planning on letting her go. But then, oh my god, that fucking jerkwad, with the short black hair. He wants to torture her, and I gotta say, seeing her tooth get plucked out was just heartbreaking for me. And and especially rubs salt on the wound when it's revealed that he is a villain. He did so because he is against Novak. He wants to, curry favor from the higher ups in the church. And from that, I just gotta say, if we don't see Novak plucking some teeth from this guy soon, I'm gonna be sorely disappointed. Considering how much he obviously cares about Yolenta. So yeah.
It puts him in a very interesting position because of obviously her connection with Oxy and them, but and what he believes in, and but then also it's his daughter, so it puts him in a really.
What I was gonna say about too, like, what happens if she's found out? Is he the one who's gonna have to do the torturing on his own daughter? Then how is that?
I doubt it. I don't think he's gonna actually torture his own daughter, but he may be put in that position.
Yeah, or he may be put in a position where the church turns against him, because then they're gonna maybe be on him. Be like, oh, like that's your daughter. Like, did you did you have anything to do with that? Were you into that as well? Like, so.
Yeah, because the thing is, I still remember in the beginning of episode 3 when Raphael poisoned himself, and we saw like what's his name again?
Hubert, you talking about the?
Hang on. Novak,
was it his? Oh yeah.
Novak. Yeah, like Novak panicked there in the basement, right? And then I thought, there we're gonna see a change. But then I thought that, okay, maybe he's just still protecting himself because, he doesn't want to get in trouble with the church. So, but now I wonder what's going to happen if, he finds out that his daughter going to get tortured or executed. How will he react to that? That's something I'm very interested to see.
Yeah. What I would like to see is, because of what I mentioned earlier, was that Novak it seemed like maybe he was becoming more open-minded to the idea, like maybe he kind of turns against the church and then becomes of the whole ideology as well. That would be something I would like to see personally. I think that would be an interesting sort of route to go with it, but I don't
The
know.
thing is that I spoke about this with Rusation in the last podcast, and we said that he might, because he has such an important role. Maybe he needs to protect his dignity with the church. That's why he can't really. Because maybe he started to be more open-minded after talking to Raphael in the basement, but because of his image, he has to protect that and keeps it inside, maybe, and still do his regular work. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think one important thing to point out is that we actually do see Nowak, questioning things like in the latest episode or two. I mean, we saw, because remember back in, I think, episode 13 around that time, he was like why do more heretics keep popping up?
Yeah, they keep popping up.
yeah.
It keeps happening. Like ever since him, I think they even flashed Raphael in one of the episodes, like when he was thinking about it. Like it just started with one person, or it felt like it started with one person, and now it feels like it's happening way more. Like, are they onto something? Kind of is like maybe they are right in this way of thinking, or there's something potentially here, which I like to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna see like a complete 180 from him. Like, I don't know, he's gonna be like, yo, fuck the church. I'm gonna support I'm gonna go the heretic route and all that. I don't know if we're gonna see something like that, but I do think we're gonna see a big change. I mean, I do think that's gonna lead to a big change in Nowak's character later on, in some way and shape and form. And speaking of Nowak, I mean, I think he in general is just a really interesting character. First of all, Kenjiro Suda. Big ups to Kenjiro Suda. He does a fantastic job at voicing the character. But also, what makes Nowak so interesting is that he, like, despite him being an antagonist, he's not, and despite him, like, torturing seemingly good people, he's not inherently evil. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's inherently evil. Like, he's
just doing his job.
He's just doing his job, exactly. Yeah, I mean, things get a lot more tense when he's around.
Yeah, he did say that. I remember when he was training the new two people with the torturing stuff in the prison cells with the lady, where I think they were like removing her fingers or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I think he said something to them though, like, don't ask questions, just do what the protocol says. He's just doing his job.
But yeah, I think Nowak's such an interesting character, and like I said, I at least want him to use the pairs of English on that one black haired dude. I think his name's Anthony. But yeah, because as soon as he finds out that who plucked Yolenta's teeth, all hell is probably gonna break loose.
Because that's more, his daughter's more important to him than anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, that'll be a day I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, other than that, Orb, oh my god, I finally see the hype now, and I am so looking forward to seeing more of Orb. I still wouldn't say it's like in my top 3 of the season or anything, but I still really, really freaking enjoy this show. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me.
I watched it too. I'm a little bit behind on it, but so I didn't see the tooth great thing you spoke about, and not the last episode, obviously. And I'm in a position where I thought it had a strong start because of Raphael. I think Raphael played a huge role in that. But then with the new characters, I didn't feel as strong about as with Raphael, but it never turned into anything bad. I still also want to say what we spoke about before. This show is something very unique. We don't see this kind of story much in anime. Just like you all said before, it's a fan service, the harem, and everything. The isekais. It reminds me of the meme I sometimes share memories disco with the doppelganger of memory. Yeah, unique anime, and I think I will grow stronger feelings to it when I reach the point where they're most likely gonna focus on Yolenta, because while I didn't feel as strong as the two characters to go over after Raphael, I think Yolenta is a much more interesting character, especially considering that her being the daughter of and I forgot his name again.
Nowak.
Yeah. Nowak, thank you. and how Novak is going to shape. Because I don't think we're going to see. I think this is two cores. I don't think we're going to see two cores and see the same Novak as always. Some day he's got to change. I think that's what I'm looking forward to see his progress as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe who knows? I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe he's going to be executed or tortured one day or die. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that it for you?
Yeah, I think so. And also maybe he's going to take over. Like, those two people took over after Rafa, right? Maybe he's going to be part of the chain eventually. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, yeah, I know Mad Lad's watching this, but unfortunately he has muted his mic and he's turned off his camera, so I don't know when he's gonna be back. But yeah,
So he has nothing good to say for Orb.
I don't know about that. He did say he finally gave it a chance. So I mean, I guess we could probably move on. And maybe he can say his thoughts on the show once he gets back. I don't know.
No, he wrote actually that he has nothing to say about Orb.
Oh.
Nothing good
Yeah,
to
he'll
say
be out
about
for
Orb.
a bit and for Ranma.
Oh, okay. All right, then. So I guess we can move on now. Next up on the list is Ranma. Yeah, speaking of Ranma, next up is Ranma half.
And this is where I'm going to start, because this is my anime of the season and my anime of the year. And lots of it is personal reasons, because I read the manga as a child. I grew up with it. And I gotta say, they, as a manga reader, they've been really handling this adaptation in such a good way. They really follow the manga in such a good way. I'm very, very impressed with it so far. I said it in the last podcast too. We already talked about in the last podcast about the censorship and everything that people are complaining about. Oh, there are no nipples on Ranma. Like I said, that's not what the plot is about. It's not showing a gender bender's nipples. That's not what the plot is about. And
That's priority for some people, man.
yeah, and
Ranma
Ranma is no exception. Like, yeah, we see sometimes it's very uncensored, right? Like someone mentioned, gushing over magical girls. That's the but gushing over magical girls was the story, was the ecchi. Ranma is not. That's not the main focus of Ranma. So that's something completely different. So like the majority of ecchi shows are censored in one way or another. So I don't see why people complain more about Ranma than other shows. That's where I felt it was a bit unfair. We also spoke about people saying this is Yuri's show when it's not, it's not. She fell in love with the boy Ranma. I already spoke about that in the last podcast. If we go to the new stuff though, that is for the second part of the first season. If I'm gonna have to criticize something, even though I still give it a 10 out of 10, I think it was the arc with the ice skating that I think was a little bit overdone. I think it lost for.
Oh, I hated that part. I hated.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
That was actually very, very much of a drag. I agree. I didn't really like that either. However, the things that came after that with Shampoo, because I was waiting for Shampoo to appear, and that just boosted my enjoyment for the show already, because I already knew she was going to be one of the best girls this season, even though she's trying to kill Ranma and the amnesia, but her personality, she's great actually. I love her as a character. And I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm just going to say that I'm looking forward to season 2, because we're not seeing the last of her. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say more than that. I do wish actually that there would be 2 cores instead of 2 seasons, but it's the way it is. We're still going to get more Ranma in the future, so I'm very, very much looking forward to that. I think that's what I was going to say. As I said, this is my anime of the year. I've been maybe overly praised it, but that's because I really, really love this show. And I gotta say, I have had such a blast with the fandom of Ranma on Twitter too. We've been, like, I just posted on Twitter, like, I bought the merch. 65 or 64 likes on that one. Like the
Nice.
fandom is amazing for for us Ranma fans. We are really getting along with her. One of the best fandoms out there, I think. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I wish I did, but as I spoke a lot about it in the last podcast, so I don't really have too much else to add. But I think what I can say at the end is that I think people were worried about this one because how Urusei Yatsura was, but I think we can all agree that this is much more enjoyable than Urusei Yatsura was. That's the last
Oh
thing I'm
yeah,
gonna say.
100%.
Yeah,
I would not.
I remember we talked on your Twitch actually about it. You actually said that this one was quite enjoyable.
What was that?
When we spoke on your Twitch, when you were talking about the upcoming season, you also reviewed the fall season a bit.
Oh
on your
yeah.
Twitch. And you actually spoke about Ranma. You said that you enjoyed this way more than you thought you were going to.
Yeah, because mostly because I had Urusei Yatsura on my mind, and I did not really like that one bit. I'm gonna be honest. So I was kind of like, I was just like, is this gonna be one where like I kind of feel the same way, where like I cannot stand the main dude in Urusei Yatsura. That was a big thing, and I feel like Ranma is just leaps and bounds better than the main dude in Urusei Yatsura, and even like Lum, was that her name, Lum?
Yeah.
In Urusei Yatsura.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she was all right, but like the two main characters in Ranma beat out the like it's not even close. It's not even close. So that was already like something that I appreciate. Like I appreciate a lot more with Ranma, just their kind of dynamic, and you kind of see that there is some compared to where they started and how they kind of felt about each other and where it's at now. Like you are seeing obviously the progression and change in their feelings towards each other, which I do like seeing that. The only real issue I had was like the ice skating part, like that stretch of episodes. Yeah, it was like, what was it, 2-3 episodes maybe, something like that.
2.5 or something like that.
Yeah. Like I was just watching that. Like, what am I watching? Like this is just what, I don't know, but yeah, the characters, especially the main two, I find way more just way better written, I guess, way better handled than the characters on the other series from Urusei Yatsura. And I hate to keep comparing them, but like that's, they're from the same author, so I feel like that's just gonna happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're from the same author, which I think Urusei Yatsura was her first series that she did, if I remember correctly.
That's where she got the experience from to do better, maybe.
Yeah, so like I think I would assume so. She like learned from that, and like it kind of shows with Ranma and some of the other things that she's done. So yeah, I've been enjoying this. I've been enjoying Ranma a lot. I think I gave it like I gave the first season or the first part of the remake. I gave it like an 8 out of 10. So nice. I felt pretty strongly about it. Honestly, I had a good time watching it.
How do you feel about Shampoo?
I'm not entirely sold on her. I do find her personality like interesting, more so because I'm thinking like beyond and the kind of like, I don't know, I feel like there's sort of like layers to her like that we have yet to really unpack, I guess, if that makes sense.
Trust me, wait for season 2. You can
because it seems like on the surface, like we have what we have now, but I feel like there's something more kind of underneath it, if that makes sense. Like there's more that we're not seeing yet with her. So,
well, you're gonna love her in season 2. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but that just throws another intriguing character into the mix for sure.
I mean, yeah, because she's, I don't know, it's not just me actually. I don't know if you've seen like on social media overall. A lot of people are praising Shampoo as a character.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna see that in season 2. That's really all I'm gonna say. I want to spoil, but I'm not going to spoil because I want you to enjoy it.
Yeah, I've been, because I kind of went in with, I don't want to say like, I didn't go in with as high as expectations as a lot of others, I would say. Yeah, because I just had that kind of like blemish on my, like it was like on my memory. It's just was with that series. So, but
For me, it was actually the opposite because I read the manga for Ranma first, and I didn't read or see anything from Urusei Yatsura first. So I was thinking like, oh, same author as Ranma. Wow, this is gonna be amazing. Then I watched it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, not really.
Yeah. There's just way more memorable characters already in this one to me than in the other. So.
And she has done other great shows, so which have not watched yet, but I hope they get a remake later, like Maison Ikoku, I think she's made.
Yeah.
And there was
I still haven't watched Inuyasha.
Inuyasha was the only one I was thinking about too.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that one, which that's like a lot of people consider that like her like magnum opus, like her best work. So
yeah, I actually haven't seen Inuyasha yet. I have to do that. Like I'm praising Ranma so much. If I think Ranma is great, then wow, Inuyasha must be like a masterpiece.
Yeah, because Inuyasha came after Ranma probably too. So I believe. Yeah, Inuyasha definitely came after Ranma. So she probably took from what she learned from Urusei Yatsura, what she learned from Ranma, and then apparently Inuyasha is like the best thing she's done. So for a lot of people, so it probably shows. I guess
she wrote Inuyasha too. Damn, she's pretty much like the queen of like retro anime.
Yeah, she's
the legend.
Yeah, she's a legend for sure. Just with a lot of the stuff that. Yeah, like Anipod mentioned it. Yeah, my son Ikoku, that one.
Which I have not watched actually, but yeah.
I think she made another one that I've heard. Oh, Rinne. I think that's what it's called. Rinne. I think she created that too. So and the Yasahime, obviously, which got an anime recently and all that. So yeah, Ranma, I like it. I'm vibing with it so far. So.
All right, I think we can move on now. And the final anime that we have planned for this podcast is TsumaSho. And after a certain something that happened in the final episode, I think discussion for this will be interesting.
Yeah. So I haven't started yet, so can I please start on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So it's not going to be too long, actually. I will say overall, I actually enjoyed this one. I think it's been very interesting. The whole situation of them trying to move on from their deceased wife. Well, not their deceased wife, but his deceased wife and her mom. That was very interesting. I've actually enjoyed it more than I thought. I didn't expect it to be this interesting and actually wholesome at many times. I will also point out that I didn't go into this anime in the beginning and expecting that one of my absolute favorite characters and one of my absolute favorite character development in the show would be Marika's mom. I think she was the one because I think a lot of now when I think about it, the whole story from the start, it was actually quite rushed. I actually think it was very rushed overall. But one thing I think they really nailed was the mom. I think they handled that in such a good way. From her to be such a described as an evil mom, and then seeing her change and seeing her care more about her daughter, that was such an amazing. I absolutely applaud that. I couldn't ask for more with her, and it was good pacing on that one as well. And I want to also comment a bit on the what is called rushed confessions. We first had the confession, the rushed thing with his daughter and the boyfriend that she got, and suddenly they were getting married. That was very rushed. I agree with that because there was no build up or anything. That was like, oh, he's my boyfriend now, and now we're getting married. Because I'm sure in the source material at least they should have had more focus on that. But if they have 12, I think it was 12 episodes. And they're going to have to try to complete all the volumes in 12 episodes. This is what we get. So, that's how it is. Now, even though the confession with, the whole marriage proposal between Keisuke and, what was her name again?
Moria.
Moria was also a bit weird and rushed. I first thought this was a culture thing in Japan because we sometimes see single parents telling the children, "Oh, I'm gonna get remarried," before they meet the partner. We saw that also in Days with My Stepsister, for example. So I thought, that's just how they do it over there. So I didn't really question that actually. Besides, we also had the situation with like Moria and Keisuke has known each other since for a while at work too. So I would say they got some time to know each other, and so I still felt it was right in one way. And I was also like this: if they're gonna end this in a satisfying way, they should end it with him moving on with Moria. So that's where we got to the final. I'm sorry for my language, but the final fucking episode where it just fell apart completely. He buys a ring with the diamond on, which looks very expensive, to fake the marriage. And when he said that, "Oh, we were just faking it so they can move on," I don't react too much when I actually watch anime, but I was actually sitting like, "Oh." And then I sat like this for the rest of the episode because I was like, what? Oh, I'm not going to curse more because then this video is going to be taken down. But there are so many things I want to say about that finale. Like, if he was forced to move on with Moria. I don't care if the confession was rushed. Move on with her. No, we're going to end it with him sitting by himself and fishing at the end. That was like, I don't like it. Come on.
Are you done?
Yeah, I could sit here and just rant and curse a lot, but I think I'm done. Overall, I enjoyed it as a whole, but that finale was just not satisfying at all.
Okay.
Okay,
before
go ahead.
Sorry. Breaking news. Subaru and Pug is married.
Wait, what?
That's what you were laughing about.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
All right. Yeah.
I saw something else too. I totally a side note.
Breaking news. Subaru
Farah's eye. She went on hiatus.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, Subaru and Pug is officially married. Wow. Wow. This is peak.
Second half of ReZero Season 3 gonna have a whole new.
Oh yes, you also think about it though. Rudius and Subaru. Oh, damn. This is some content for me to talk about on the internet. Anyways, TsumaSho. TsumaSho. Where can I start with it? Okay. First things first. I like the idea of redemption of the wife coming in to help the husband and daughter that spent 10 years in depression. Wow, I do wonder how the father raised the daughter to get to college and get a job. Like, the thing that didn't really hit me when the season aired, and of course in the previous podcast, is that, so you're telling me when the mother died, to the point that she was reincarnated, well, not reincarnated, possessing a girl, you're telling me that 10-year gap, the father did not talk to the daughter, treat her like a daughter, and view her like a daughter. So all this time, all those 10 years, she was just being a guy that was in depression because the wife died. Usually you move on within 1 year at the maximum. But he spent 10 years in depression. Like, bro, that is just sad for the daughter, man. A father should be strong. I know your wife died. I know the wife that was the one that, changed your life forever. And of course, was there for you and helping you out, the rest. But you should at least move on. You should at least move on within at least 1 or 2 years maximum, and just help your daughter grow up to be a better girl. I was like more curious what he was doing within that 10 years than we're talking more about like when the wife came back, like when the wife came back and he started to be normal again, be happy again and stuff like that. I was like, so you're telling me his depression was cured within that 30 minutes the wife came and lectured them. That's it. So when I think about that deeply, I was like, so that the whole point of him moving on was more like took him that long. So I was a little bit questioning, I would say, regarding to that matter. But again, seeing him able to be happy again, that his wife being possessing the little girl's body and coming back to treat them with good food and be a mother to them, and they're all happily doubled again. The daughter was able to find work, able to find love, and it's just like, oh, it's amazing to show. It's really good to show the fact that the mom has an impact to many people's life. Goes to show that mom is the more superior person in the family. Not gonna lie, I can actually agree to that. The mom is always the most important person in the family, especially to people like me, and of course to the kids, because mom knows the kids better. It's just that it really baffles me is how the mom just came back out of nowhere and then their life changed again, like so quickly. It's almost like them just being very accepting that she was the mom. Like, I mean, I get it. The whole point of the story is that a mom coming back and changing her life forever. But what really made me even more, how do I say, questioning more about the plot of the story is that when we found out the fact that not only the fact that the mom is not being reincarnated into the girl's body, was more like being possessing the girl's body, really just now divert the attention away now to her helping them really move on and stuff like that, and being there for them, to helping the mom pass on. It's like a 180 change in the storyline, and it just like really hits different for me, to be honest. Like, I was hoping that the mom will go all the way and stuff like that, and just be there for them and grow up with them. But no, she's just possessing the little girl's body. Is now the story focused on how would they help the mom move on. I was like, so you're telling me all that moment at the first 3 episodes was just to make things even more, how do I say, boring? Because like I was not interested in them helping the mom, not gonna lie. I find it more cliche seeing how they, because I've seen this done in anime before, helping people move on. I know Hana does it better, by the way. I know Hana is the one that I was thinking about when I see something like this, that second half of the season happen. So I was like, oh my god, you're kidding me now. Now they want to help the mom move on and stuff, rather than appreciating her being around and helping. Because I was kind of hoping that the mom supposedly before it was revealed that she was possessing a girl, the mom being reincarnated in the girl was able to help her mom, able to beat the problem and be there for her with this mature mindset, able to teach her a way of life. But I mean, she did though, but it's just like it doesn't really hit the same when I found out that she was possessing the girl. So this whole reincarnation thing was thrown out the door when the monk said, yeah, I don't think it's reincarnation. I think it's more possession, because he has a point though, because if the mom left the girl's body, does it resemble the mom? No, she's basically been possessed the body, because the soul does not move on. So it's kind of scary though, thinking about it, because like that also explains why we see ghosts nowadays, is because the soul, it has not really moved on. And why you think some places are haunted, because the souls are trapped there, and the mom was trapped in the world, and then she would say, oh no, I have to get back to my family and stuff, and then she just possessed a little girl and just use her body. Oh my god, that is just like so. I don't know. I just felt when I found out about the scene, I just felt weird about it, to be honest. More like not like very. Oh my god, no way. She cannot move on. No, I've seen this done before in love, like horror movies, sad drama movies. Anohana. So I was like, nah, this is not it, man. I'd rather she being fully reincarnated and using that girl and being reincarnated to have a purpose in the world again. Not them coming in and help her out with her problem. So So after that point of the story, I just didn't really feel interested in it anymore. So and then what makes it even worse is that, oh my god, I think this is just me. When the Dora found out what the father is trying to do, or what he was attempting to do, she threw a hiatus, and that is just screams how much the father did not raise her Dora properly, and I hated that. If I have a kid one day, I will make sure that she or he will be raised properly and not just left her to be for the past 10 years doing absolute fuck all, being a father to her, and now you want to be a father to her. Sorry, that's not how it works, man. When the kids grow up, they will be a bit more mature mind focused and oh yeah, I need to also mention this. When the moms her mother, the mom, what's the mom's name of the mom possessed girl body again? I forgot. Takai, yeah. Like when she's trying to hit her, she remember her past. I was like, oh my god, now that is what I call a good written character, because she tried to be a good mom. Say, oh no, I do not want to be like that. I do not want to be like. But sorry, when you've been raised like that by a very abusive parent in your past, you will end up being like that. So that is a really well written. So and I'm very glad that she was there to lecture her about life and teach her, and that when she returned her Dora's body to her, and then she was able to be a better mom. I like that side of the story, not on the real side of the story where fuck this. I'm gonna go bring up Miami list. I forgot the name. Just go to show how much I hated. I hated the ending.
You're not alone. You guys remember when she brought the wine glasses to the restaurant?
Yeah.
I was like, oh god,
bro, that was like.
Okay.
That was a real moment. Oh.
Here we go. So Mai and Keisuke. Chica, the mom, Chica. Oh my god, I much prefer her story over anything else in the second half.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
So Mai, oh my god, I never liked her, and I'm very glad I did not, because how she reacted at the end to the father decision, and rather than helping her father, I was just like, bro, that goes to show that the father did not do a good job raising the Dora for the past 10 years, and that is what I never. And that moment where she screamed at the father and do that to the father, screamed so loudly to me that the father did not do a good job, and I was so happy to see the fact that they actually approached that way, because that makes me never like Mike even more. So that's why I never rated the Dora moving on and stuff like that, because her moving on was a bit too fast paced, never really had much build to it. She fucking married within 2 episodes. Like, where's the development, man?
That's because they squeeze everything in 12 episodes.
Like, everything about the second half of the season sucked so much. Like, everything in the first half of the episode, first half of the season, okay, I appreciate what they're trying to do with the message of the story, but the fact that they took them 10 years is just. I mean, if the mom was being possessed, if the little girl is possessed by the mom, Marika is being possessed, then the fact that she could have just done it within that 1 year, 2 years at least, when they're still at that stage of depression, but 10 years.
That's weird, actually. What did she do in the past 10 years before she got the body?
Wandering soul. A wandering soul. She was a wandering soul for 10 years before she decided to possess Marika.
Yeah, that's weird, actually.
Holy
so
shit.
that's why you.
I think you might have just point out a plot hole, because like I think it was implied that no wait I think she no wait hold on no wait oh my god, the more I think about it, the less sense it makes, because no, we know that she died in the accident, and then she was worried about her family and all of that, and then
for 10 years.
For 10 years.
Yeah, I think that happened for 10 years. But then, and then she sees Marika, who was already a 10-year-old, and then she possessed her. So, I think. So
you're telling me she was a wandering soul for 10 years? What?
I think so. I think what it's trying to imply there is that maybe time passes differently now that she's, dead and not mortal.
Would make more sense if she was taking over the body on the birth, and then she remembered.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But she saw Marika. She possessed a girl because she was about to hit by a truck. Kun. So,
Yeah.
oh my God! Now you really dig it. Why 10 years? Why not 2 years? Why not 1 year? Or even better, why can't she just be reincarnated for fuck's sake? Ah. I was frustrated when the plot when the backstory was revealed that she was not reincarnation, she was possessing a girl. Reincarnation will make the story even better, not possession based. Oh my God, this trust me. I really want to like TsumaSho, but after that review, I was more questioning about the plot hole and stuff. Oh my God, I really wish I could make a reaction video to it. But anyways, but yeah, that's why I was really not liking how Mai reacted to the father that way, because that also shows how much he was not being raised properly. I don't like how the father acted, the way he acted in this season, even though it's cringe and very funny in some moments, but it just shows the father doesn't have the right mentality to move on.
Yeah.
And so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think what I give it.
I think you gave it like a 7 or 6. A 3?
I think you gave it a 7 actually.
I know. Now I'm said all this stuff. 5.
Oh no! The score dropped.
5.
Oh,
but what was your thought on the last episode, though?
Shit.
Right.
Yeah, he already established he didn't like the second half.
Oh, by the way, I go and read the manga. Apparently, the part where he was fishing was the final chapter of TsumaSho was 78 pages, and that scene where him fishing was page 60. So we got 10 more pages left, which is 2 years into the future. Mai have a baby and he hold on to the baby. I much prefer that ending.
No Moria.
Huh?
Well, yeah,
No
what about
Moria.
No,
He
what?
wasn't with the girl. He wasn't with the girl that he was supposed to marry.
No. He decided not to marry Moria because he respects Takai. He said it himself. So he decided to be a single father and just be a good grandfather to my kid. So
I don't like it. Then I wouldn't like the manga ending either. He should move on.
So the supposed ending for TsumaSho was 2 years in the future. He's a grandfather now. Mai brings the kid to him and he hold on to the kid.
Yeah,
actually, can I go first?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. For me, okay. First of all, I'm just gonna get out of the way the things I like about this show. First of all, I think there's a lot of touching moments. I remember thinking at first that this anime was going to destroy me. But it wasn't really it didn't really turn out that way. However, there were quite a bit of touching moments that I like. First of all, the first episode where Takai and Keisuke had that moment where she was like, "Oh, I will always love you," or something like that. I can't remember the exact words, but that's basically how it kind of went. I really thought that was really well executed. I thought the first episode was really good. And then there's also plenty of other really sweet moments between those two. And of course, I really love Chika's development. I think we all thought at first that Chika was going to be pretty much the villain of the show, considering how rough she was towards Marika during the first few episodes. But man, her development was just it was peak. It was definitely the best thing about the show. Her slowly realizing her mistakes and turning into a really good, supportive mother for Marika. Her understanding the situation with Takai and what she did for the Nijimas. That was just, oh my gosh, she was really good. Easily the best character in the whole show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, and there were some scenes surrounding the family dynamic of the Nijimas that I found really wholesome. that was, I felt wholesome, really cool. So yeah, that's also one thing that I enjoyed. But yeah, going to the cons, yeah. I mean, there's really the cons. You guys already mentioned the whole rushing of Mai and Renji's relationship. I did not like that one bit. And then I also didn't like how it took Keisuke so long just to move on. Yeah, like 10 whole years. I mean, Jesus, man, get a grip. So yeah, I didn't really like that about him as well. Now, quickly, I want to go over to, of course, the reveal of the final episode where it was revealed that Keisuke wasn't actually gonna move on with Moria. Now, what I remember, now, I remember when I first saw that happening. Like, yeah, at first, it seemed like a pretty scummy thing for Keisuke to do. Now, but my take on it was different. My take on it was that, okay, yeah, at first it does seem kind of scummy of him at first. But when I think about it, I thought to myself, okay, well, hang on. He never outright rejected Moria. And Takai already knew about, like, before Take fully moved on, she knew, if I recall correctly, about Moria's feelings for Keisuke. So I was like, well, who's to say? It may seem like, she was lying to Takai and all that, but, who's to say that they won't actually marry for real in the future? I mean, that ring, it may seem like a waste, but, maybe it could work out. It could be used in the future when they get married for real. So yeah, that's why I didn't really think that it was too. I didn't really dislike it all the reveal all that much. Although I can see why people think so. But now, oh my god damn it, Matt Lad, you just had to bring up how Keisuke and Moria wasn't really a thing in the manga. Now hearing about that, I'm like, oh man. I think there's still part of me that holds on to hope. That's still holding on to hope that maybe there is something that happens between Keisuke and Moria in the future. Because again, like
the thing you should know that you cannot force people to love you. Yeah. So you need to try.
I know. Yeah, I guess that's true. But like I said, we don't I mean, at least in the anime, we didn't see them outright reject.
Even if he willing to marry Moria out of for the door set for his own sake and moving on and stuff like that, I still find that he will not like love her completely. It's almost like arranged marriage sort of like approach. Like she likes him, but he never liked her. But they married for the sake of, So
I mean, his wife been dead for 10 years. He's gotta move on with someone.
He can't because he loves her that much.
I mean, it sucks because that's what people do in real life. I mean, like, yeah,
exactly. I mean, it takes you at least 2 years to move on with therapy, but he decided not to do anything of it within that 10 years. That really baffles me if I think it through. 10 years to not able to move on for your wife's dead. I mean, here's the thing. My grandma died this year. It only took me a week to move on from it already. I still think about her, but I just like, wow, okay, just move on. So you guys remember, my grandma means a lot to me, by the way. I grew up with her like for the past 20 years, and she just died this year. And of course, you expect me to feel sad, but I moved on from her already within 1 week, and that's it. For him, though, 10 years.
Insane.
I think it is. It probably differs from person to person too, but 10 years is, and you got to think about like, oh, that person.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That is. I'm just saying that. So you're telling me within that 10 years, you weren't acting like a father to Mai. I'm more worried for Mai.
There's no excuse. Yeah, there's no excuse for that either. Because like, what you got to think about, like, oh, what would the mom have wanted me? The mom would have wanted me to, do what's best for my daughter, be there for my daughter. Or for our daughter, and then also she would want him, ideally, if she really did love him, she would want him to move on and find happiness too, and not just be sitting there dwelling on it for 10 years.
But that's kind of what I meant. Like, I would hope for better that he would move on from her wife after 10 years and then maybe actually not maybe getting married, but at least get into a relationship with with Moria. So we can at least see a hint that he's moving on with somebody. That would be more satisfying for me than to see him sitting and fishing at the end.
Like, yeah, it would be better, like, say, even if they didn't end up being a thing, like, if he at least explored it or tried it, like, if they went that route with it, like, oh, he sees Moria, they go out on some dates, and maybe, like, you know, it doesn't end up working out, but still, like, he can say that he tried.
Yeah. I mean, she even confessed to him, and she even agreed to this whole faith thing. Oh well.
But yeah, other than that, despite my criticisms about TsumaSho, I actually consider this to be probably my favorite anime from the fall season, just because of how wholesome and how well they did the emotional parts of the anime. So yeah, really, really great show in my opinion. All right, remember you got anything to say about it?
For me, I mean, you guys said it. The ending was pretty ass.
To say the least.
Yeah, I just like Annie Pote said, like, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna commit to that, like, I still would have probably mostly thought it was BS anyway, like, oh, him getting married to Moria. But if you're gonna commit to that or go with that, like, as a writer, as an author, I feel like once you do that, you can't just say psych. Like, you should just go through with it at that point. Like, honestly, because when you go back on it, I just don't think it was, like, that was never gonna work.
One thing I will say about it is, like, to be fair, like, we initially thought that they were rushing the whole marriage between Keisuke and Moria thing, and so I think this, in a way, I think I would prefer what we got over them just basically rushing the whole marriage. Although I would still kind of prefer them to get married, like, at least in the future, or like something happen between them.
I just think also, like my thing, even when I watched that episode and when they were gonna get married, like, I was like, okay, if they're in my head, I was like, if they're actually gonna go through with this, it doesn't even feel like they're into each other. Like, it was a one-sided thing. Like, that was my biggest thing, was that, like, Keisuke's not even into her like that. Like, they haven't even been on. Like, they know each other. They've spent time together from being at work and all that, but they haven't went on any dates. They haven't, like, I know Annie Post said, like, oh, that might just be a thing, like a cultural thing there or whatever.
I'm pretty sure they have spent a lot of time together.
But I have watched those.
I think it's been cut out a lot of the story.
Yeah, the thing is that even if they don't get married, because maybe there's one-side feelings, at least they could end it like, let's give it a chance at least. As a relationship, at least he's being open-minded to move on with her. So at least we get something out of it. We didn't get anything out of it, other than, oh, I'm gonna fish. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely spent too much time, I feel like, on, like, the whole moving. Like, I like that idea of, like, you know, someone, you have to move on eventually, but I think it really, like, dragged on way too long. The best part of this show, in my opinion, you guys mentioned it with Chica, but then also just, like, there were some wholesome, you know, family moments, more so earlier on, I would say, in the series that I did like. But, like, I didn't care for Mai and Renji's relationship. I didn't care. And then the stuff with, like, you know, with Keisuke and Moria at the end, I didn't care for. This series was a mixed bag for me. I feel like it did have potential, but I just think some things were poorly handled or poorly executed. So yeah, this one was kind of started out something I was like, okay, like, we might have something here, but then as it went along, I feel like I got pretty disappointed. I think I gave this like a 6 out of 10. So
I think you eventually see while you're watching it how rushed it was too. Like, you know, if you're gonna finish a whole story on 12 episodes, this is what we're gonna get. And I find it very weird, actually, that the most progress of all the characters they can work on a good story, they choose the mother that is not one of the main characters. The main character's progress was very rushed, but they absolutely gave all the passion to her mother, which was like, okay, the priorities here, but
Yeah.
we liked it. Yeah.
Uh, all right. Well, that is all the anime that we have planned for this podcast. Is there any? Do you guys want to talk about any other show not on the list, real quick?
Not too much. I just want to mention that one I did kind of enjoy was 365 Days to the Wedding. I thought that was very funny. Very funny comedy. I liked the romance. I wish the last episode could have been better handled, because when we talked about rushed marriages, that was absolutely one of them. Just turning around the street, let's get married anyway.
Yeah.
That was very weird. But as a whole, it was a fun show actually. Aqua Trip, I don't have too much to say about that. It was a weird show, but I love it for how weird it was. That's really my thoughts.
Let me see. One that I would maybe want to mention. I'd probably say. I was gonna say You Are Miss Servant. I feel like that one had it was all right. I feel like it had some, especially towards the beginning. I think I liked the beginning more so because it was like more so focused on the wholesome moments between the main characters. But as it kind of got along, they started introducing the idea of romance and that they might be into each other romantically and going that route with it. I feel like that's when it kind of started to lose me a little bit. But yeah, that one was kind of cute. Nothing too crazy, but I did semi enjoy that one. And then, I mean,
did you watch that other one too, the Positive Negative Angler or something like that?
I did watch. Yeah, that one was okay as well. I feel like that was another case where it so the whole concept was that the MC only had a certain amount of time to live, and he pretty much, I think it was 2 or 3 years that he had to live, but it ended up not being the case, and he just needed treatment, or he needed some sort of kind of treatment or something like that at the end, which I was okay, because it just ended up being a thing where it was more character focused for sure, him surrounding himself, getting out there in the world. It actually, funny enough, we were talking about fishing with TsumaSho, but that the whole show is kind of focused on fishing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fishing. Yeah, fishing.
But yeah, it's definitely character driven, because he and there's some fun characters in the series, especially I feel like one of the more underrated girls of the season was Hana from that series. She was probably my favorite character in that, but there were some fun characters in that one, and how they impacted the main character, who was he was pretty much just down on his he got that news, he was told that, and then kind of just went into a state of depression, and really fishing and being around the people that he was around kind of opened his eyes a bit, and he was enjoying life again and stuff like that. So there was a nice little message with it. But so yeah, that one's kind of a shout, I would say. One that I watched, and I guess.
Oh, I was also asking about your opinion on because I dropped it. The
Amagami sister.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, thank you for reminding me that too.
Yeah,
I was looking through the Miami list right now to see what we're missing. So yeah, I can talk about Amagami sister a little bit, and then I will need to talk about Blue Lock a little bit, and then we can
close
up.
I want to hear Memory's opinion about Amagami sister too.
Oh yeah, Love Live too. I just have one last say about Love Live too. So 3 things I want to say. So Amagami sister.
Memory's not done yet. Memory's not done yet. So I want to hear.
Yeah. That's why I said. That's why I say Amagami sister. Listen. Okay, Memory. Go.
Amagami sister. I mean, I get people's issues with it. Honestly, I don't think because when I first read it, one of the things that I really appreciated was the art in the the drawings in the manga, but I feel like the anime just didn't really capture that
Well,
necessarily.
there were some good animation moments, but nothing compared to the manga.
Yeah, I just feel like it was one of those things where it was going to be really hard to kind of nail that that part of it. And yeah, I mean, besides Yai, I mean, I can just the main character for me, the main dude, I feel like there are qualities about him that I do like, but especially how he's like devoted to, you know, his study and also like the orphanage and like his roots and stuff like that, like how a lot of like he wants to support the orphanage too. Like that's a big thing that he's kind of big on as well. But at least from where the anime is at right now, because I can really only speak on that. Yai is really what carries the show. I could see why people don't really feel Yuna at this point. And Asahi kind of has some little. She's just kind of on the gremlin type energy, for sure. And she has these little flashes there, but I feel like even from what we saw from her so far in the anime, in my personal opinion, I feel like as it goes along, there's like an arc or a part that she has, with her like running that she does that. I feel like that's where I got more into her character. But at this point, where the anime's at right now, Yai is really what carries the show. But yeah, this one is it's nothing special. It's nothing crazy. Like it's not some groundbreaking, rom-com harem. I think for me, when I did read this, like I haven't read in a minute, but I read this from chapter 1, and it was a lot of fun for me personally, because it did bring me back to like the kind of like, I guess, my harem roots, the first anime and stuff I started watching. Now, granted, this isn't like as ecchi or whatever, but it has some fan service. But it was a lot of the art. The art I was really drawn into by, like it was just really nice. But the anime definitely doesn't really capture all that well. But yeah, I can totally see people's complaints with the series, especially with some of like the tropes and some of like the nosebleeds with the main dude and things of that nature. But yeah, it's all right. It's all right for me at this point where I'm at. And actually, in the most recent episode, I believe it was, there was a nice moment with Yai again. So I really liked that.
Okay, I need to say about your backstory. That was incredibly animated. That voice acting, holy cow!
Yeah.
Sumire, man, she did a good job with that backstory, man.
Mhm.
She did I think that Yai backstory is the only thing I like about this anime adaptation, to be honest. But everything before that, it just felt very generic, to be honest. Well, obviously, you can say that he trying to find the girl and stuff that he have interest in, but none of them work. To be honest, all three sisters have their distasteful personality part of the trait, but Yai, in my opinion, though, even though she's clumsy, even though she can be very airheaded, and that's what people like about that girl. But
That's
for me,
true.
what I like about that is that she's aggressive with her approach to getting his attention, and I like that. I like how she say, you know what, I love him. I'll try my best to flirt with him every day from now on. Now that is more like it. So that is why Yai is my best girl. Now you guys see why now.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's like, for people that are still watching the anime, like they'll probably, I would assume a lot of them agree, like that's the main, like she's kind of the anchor right now of the show, because without her, I feel like at this point right now there wouldn't be a whole lot.
Memory,
really
you
going
know
for
what's
it.
coming up next, right? The second half of the season. Oh,
Isn't
my
it with
God.
the childhood friend?
We are now adapting to that part of the childhood
Yeah.
friend arc now, and
Mhm.
not gonna lie, it's because of that arc I start hating the series again. So trust me, when that childhood friend girl is about to do what she's about to do, I will be going all in on Twitter about her. So trust me when I say that, because I've seen this done in anime before, and now they're repeating that plot line for the childhood friend. Now that is what you call bullshit writing. But I'll wait. I'll save it for when it came to that scene because you saw the new key visual. The childhood friends on it. You know what's coming, memory. You know what's coming.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else, or you dropped it? Yeah, you dropped it, of course.
I don't have anything else to
I
talk
dropped
about.
it too.
I think you mentioned a few other shows you watched, man, lad.
Blue Lock.
Oh, yeah, Blue Lock and Love
Recap.
Live, I think you said.
Blue Lock redeemed himself in the last episode. Still too much to not enough to redeem himself for what they've been doing for the whole season. So I'm not gonna say too much about it other than the last episode was peak and it was amazing. And that's all I can say about Blue Lock. But Love Live Superstar. Oh, mate. I'm glad it's over, man. Oh, I am glad Superstar is fucking finished because I'm getting sick. I'm getting really, really sick of this stupid second half of the season plotline where, oh, we got more girls joining the club. Oh, yeah, we got to schools now closing down. Oh, yeah, Count also wants to go overseas to Austria to do music. Oh, no, she's now had to be back at school to help her biggest rival develop herself. Are you kidding me? Third season was fun, but it was shit. But I can say that some of the stuff happening in season 3, I am not a fan of. And the final episode was good, but not as impactful as the very first Love Live series. Everyone said, man, lad, you're just overreacting over Superstar. Superstar was good and stuff. If it's so good, why do you think I gave it a 5? A 6?
I think the first season was still the best season. Honestly.
Muse will always be good.
Or I'm saying the first season of Superstar.
Oh,
Muse is the only Love Live guy.
Be careful when you say first season. When you say first season, everyone thinks
Yeah,
of
yeah. I
Muse.
thought you meant the first. Yeah.
Always said Superstar. Always say this: Superstar, Sunshine, Nijigasaki, or Muse. Or yeah. So first season Superstar was not bad. Introduce some new girls, a fresh start to the franchise. What could go wrong? End of season. Okay, they saved the school. Okay, I'll have that. I'll have what they have for the first season. Second half of the season, they start bringing in girls. Come on, join our club. Do some Love Live stuff for us. Increase the girls to increase people simping on her and stuff like that. You know what made it worse for me personally is that those girls they've introduced to the story doesn't really have a strong impact for me, other than one girl. And I forgot her name already. That goes to show how much I want to forget about Superstar. So, but you can say that introducing more girls is not helping. Like the reason why Nijigasaki for me personally, and of course Muse was amazing, is because they introduced those girls and they stuck with them.
Yeah.
To all the way. Aqua did the same, but but season 2 don't even get me with season 2 Aqua, but we don't want to talk about that. Nijigasaki, what I like about it is that they purely focus on songs, on Love Live aspect of the thing, not some shitty ass saving the school this. Oh, can't learn how to go and help this girl out and that, going overseas. I don't like that. But then the reason why Nijigasaki is so amazing is that they focus on songs, they focus on the girl bonding with each other, they focus on them finding ways to improve on the music. I love that. Nijigasaki, I felt is more drama driven than Love Live. So that's why I did not really like it as much. So that's why I would say that the Superstar, I'm so glad it's over. Because I was because I did not like it at all, even though the last episode was quite well ended in some ways, but also although I have to give credit to the voice actor that's talking Chinese, because when they went to China, they actually spoke actual Chinese, like in actual Chinese accent too. So I was like, okay, not bad, but still sucks. So yeah, I'm so glad Superstar is over, man, because like this franchise, Superstar franchise, was more so being made just to make more money. So yeah, that's my hot take. It's only been made for it's only been created in the first place in 2022 for 2021 actually for money purposes.
Damn. But yeah, one thing I do want, a few things I do want, one thing I do want to talk about before we wrap things up. I just want to say a few quick things about how I attended an all guys mixer. First of all, pretty much all the things I said about it in the mid-season podcast still apply. All the good things I said about it still apply. I think it's still a really fun, rom-com type show. However, in terms of like the first new thing I want to say about it, Hagi is without a doubt my least favorite male character. In fact, probably my least favorite character in this whole series, because during the second half of the anime, that's where he really starts showing his dumbassery. Like pretty much every like dumbass thing he could possibly say and think, he does it. So yeah, I really didn't like that about his character. Also, I mean, that's probably why he has such a great relationship with Kohaku, because she's also kind of dense as well. And the another thing is that now that it's ended, I really wish they could have done more with the relationship. I don't think they had as much romantic progression as I would have hoped. Also, I still wish we could see more of them when they're not, more of the girls when they're not cross-dressing. But sadly, they still cross-dressed, even when they're not, when technically they really shouldn't. Like, they really have no need to. But yeah, it is what it is. Other than that, yeah, I still really enjoyed how I attended All Guys Mixer. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Are we ready to wrap this podcast up?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
All right.
So-
Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to these guys' channel. Follow me on Twitter. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. And I will see you guys next time.